Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 75 of the Couch on Ice podcast. You're introduced to our first ever video recorded podcast. Super exciting time. So, what is up, boys? First time I'm seeing your faces in a while.
Wowie.
Little scruffy we've all gotten in due time, but
always rolling the scruff.
how's your guys' week going? Chase, start with you.
Oh, not bad. Good week.
I guess we should probably introduce ourselves a little bit. Chase being bottom screen, obviously. Wave. Rhylan.
Hello.
Jordan, top left screen. Sorry, back to Chase. How was your week?
Pretty good. Watch the old Olympics. Watch the ladies win.
Oh, hell yeah. Gold. That was a great game.
Yeah, it was actually.
Really fun. Canada kind of whooped them a bit for the first bit, and
yeah. No, I think I'm in love. Sarah Fillier, like, I don't know what it is. She's so good, man.
Yeah,
so good.
Man.
Like, just unreal.
Oh, and Sarah Nurse too. Oh my
Lord.
She had a brilliant.
The points she was getting was just
unreal.
Like, I can't remember what the stats were actually on it. It was insane though.
Yeah, and then obviously Philippe Poulin.
She set the record for the most assists and points in a single Olympic game.
Really, that's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah, I knew she was
as well as being the first black player to win Olympic gold in women's hockey.
Oh, really? Surprised that's
wow.
the first, honestly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's a role model.
A round of applause for that person. But no, some Olympic hockey that went good. How about some Olympic hockey that went bad? The men's obviously losing 2-0 to Sweden. But made it more funny is Slovakia beating US in shootout. So it wasn't that upsetting when US is right beside us losing. So seems
as long
pretty.
As the US is with us, we'll be okay.
Yeah, take them down with us.
Yeah, as long as we get the better medal in the process, I'm happy. So, but
exactly.
No, great Olympic Games. Obviously, super proud of the ladies. Sucks that Eric Stahl couldn't go for his final gold, but so be it.
Yeah, and he would have been captain as well.
He was captain, exactly. So,
but
fun
is way to go.
Fun tourney. Let's shall we move on to some? Or I'll throw it over to Jordan. I didn't introduce you enough. What have you been up to this week, Jordan?
Not much. Honestly, I've been working on some podcast stuff. So
yeah, we got a really exciting one for you today.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a little tease for the end of the pod, or halfway through the pod?
We decided on, I think we mentioned it before, the armchair GM stuff, and we ultimately decided each on a team that we're gonna do, and I chose Montreal. So if you're a Montreal fan or looking forward to a Montreal rebuild,
or super disappointed for a full rebuild, be on the lookout.
You want to see how badly I do.
Chase, you looking out for the cops after you, or what?
Yeah, just
like hiding behind the blinders.
Gotta check every 5 minutes, man. You never know.
I don't blame you.
People be watching.
People be watching, even in minus 35 weather. They be watching.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cold, man.
You think that's a snowbank?
No, it's just an albino on the sidewalk. Oh, well, should we jump into some NHL puck, boys?
Whoa.
Some of our quick rips, hey, bud? Does anyone want to kick her off, or should I kick her off?
Yeah, you sound like you're full of life. So
I'm full of life. I'm ready for this. I've got so
Actually,
many
wait,
games.
I'll kick it off real
All
quick
right,
with just the away game, or away teams, sorry. They went 10-5-2.
Nice.
Since we last.
Wow.
That's a really good week for away games.
Yeah,
really good
and the
game.
last time, if you don't remember, was 14-8 and maybe one. But yeah, so away teams last week or two, but just fire, man.
Fantastic. You gotta love to see away teams winning.
But yeah, go ahead and actually go into your quick rips.
Actually go into my quick rips. Cool. Let's start with that February 15th of some games. We're gonna start with that Buffalo New York Islanders vibes. Buffalo slaughtering the Islanders 6-3. Just can't get it done this year. The Isles,
yeah.
I got an interesting note on one of the players who scored his second goal of the year, Kyle Palmieri, scoring his second of the year. This is his first goal since November 16th.
Ouch.
And before that, I think it was like the playoff or something, like, obviously because it was his first goal, November 16th. Like, it's just not been a good ride on the island for Paul Mary.
Oh, yeah.
That contract's dead weight.
No,
now.
and he was a 20 goal scorer regular before, wasn't he?
Very regular with the Devils. Yeah. 2025 almost every year. So,
Yeah.
but he managed to get 2 this game to make it up. So, late.
Maybe he just needed to bag 1. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think any of those forwards needed to just bag 1 at this point.
Yeah,
dude.
Well, man, Dustin was playing that game, and he was just getting unlucky. Like,
DT.
Just getting unlucky the whole time. It was ridiculous. Like, what was that? The first goal that Paul Mary scored, it was just a blown coverage off of, like, the defense just didn't skate, and he just blew past him and got a goal. And like the last one, he banked it off Tokarski's head. So it's like, what do you even do?
What do you do?
The social media team was so good. After the game, they posted a clip of DT doing his little happy dance.
A little ticker dance.
Yeah, so good.
Fucking loved it.
Matt, I keep hearing people like saying, like, "Oh, Buffalo's like actually not that bad, but their goaltending." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Their goaltending's actually been pretty good this year for the most part." Like, there was a stretch there, but.
And they've had, like, what, 8 goalies in that?
Well, and that's just it. Like, it was the injury stretch that was maybe pretty bad, but like, they were amazing.
They didn't even have an NHL goalie.
Yeah, they had Aaron Dell, who got suspended in that game. Like, so, not looking good.
Like, none of their goals were that the Islanders scored should have really been goals in all reality. Even the one that Chara scored, I think he ended up scoring. I don't know who actually ended up getting it. But it bounced off of the... Yeah, bounced off of Tokarski and hit his back and went in and shit. It's just like, what a joke. But yeah, like you said, Buffalo just lights them up, like Cousins and the kids.
Alex Tuck, 7 goals for Tuck already. Peyton Krebs getting a couple of points, and Tage Thompson. Guess how many goals he has this year, boys? 16. 16 goals. Nice. That is so impressive from a guy that was that the biggest piece of the O'Reilly trade? Second biggest piece, at least.
Yeah.
It's nice seeing his foot getting his feet settled, obviously. So,
Cousins got 3 assists.
A lot better this year too. That is something to be said.
Yeah, a lot.
He hasn't been like standout, but he's been significantly better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and bad, like standout bad.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree.
That team's just got to learn to not turn the puck over in the neutral zone constantly, like just all the time. Just can hardly. It's like they don't want to chip it in. Like they won't take like the shot up and chip it when they're on the like. They won't do a chip and chase. They won't do nothing, man. So like they just keep turning it over in the neutral zone. And why are we letting goals or why are we losing?
They have Leaf syndrome. They have Toronto
You almost
syndrome.
have bad karma instantly when you turn the puck over in the neutral zone. And, well, that already gives the other team so much. Like how many times do you score off turnovers? Most of the time.
In the neutral zone and in the offensive zone, teams like the first one that comes to my mind is the Minnesota Wild. They do a very good job of holding the puck in the neutral zone and in the offensive zone. And obviously their offense has been significantly better because of it.
Yeah.
And I'd say a lot of that does come down to Kaprizov. He's comfortable with the puck in the offensive zone, which not a lot of players
when he can waste a minute and 30 seconds time on ice in the offensive zone, skating circles around the net. Yeah, I think you're doing pretty all right. But no, back on what you're saying about the turnovers and the not putting the pucks in deep. This seems to be a new system that coaches are trying. I've seen it in Toronto a lot this year, which has been a lot of their problem. It's over puck possession. They like to do where they feel dumping the puck in is a wasted chance because you're either not strong enough or whatever good enough in puck battles to win it back, which I mean I can understand in Buffalo. I know what you're saying, Chase. It's just a weird system. I'm not a huge fan of the over possession system. I think it burns you more than it helps you. But yeah, it's just seeming
for it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, look how well the Leafs do at times with it. So
like the thing is like you can't even change. Like you're not even able to change up or anything like that. Like it's you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. And like the whole like every team does a dump and chase. You wrap it around the boards. You pick it up on the other side. Like get your shit together.
Fresh legs. Like, it's just
that's how you do it.
It's used for fresh legs more than anything too. Like
exactly.
That's what teams don't realize.
You're
sometimes.
Buffalo. you keep getting harbored in your own end. Like, maybe dumping it's not a bad idea every odd time.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that
get
the pressure off.
There was just too many times where it's just like you guys just won't do it almost. You know, you refuse to, which is weird. But something that's cool. Chara at 1,648 games played. He's like 3 away from Chelios for most games played all time by an NHL defenseman.
That's crazy. We knew he'd be there at some point soon here with him being how old is he? 45? Because he's the oldest player in all pro sports. Yeah, it'd be 44 because Tom Brady was the oldest and he was 44 when he retired. So that's insane, crazy.
Now the two oldest are Big Z and Joe Thornton.
Both in Sunday.
How's he been doing lately? I haven't seen him.
I saw him score the first week, and I don't think he's played since. Honestly, I think he's a healthy scratch.
Yeah, I don't think he's been very good.
Well, let's be honest. Last year in Toronto,
be honest about how good that everybody on that Florida team has been.
Like, and let's be real on how bad Thornton was for the Leafs last year. Like, just because he played top minutes doesn't mean he was a good player for the Leafs last year.
Nothing special
to take away from his career. Like, obviously, Joe is one of the
favorite players that I've ever
probably top 5 creators of all time. But
keeping up that vibe,
certainly.
For sure.
Keeping up that vibe.
Sitting on that Chara segue, moving to his old team. Very interesting game between the Rangers and Bruins we got here. 2-1 win in the shootout. Both Swayman and Shesterkin were fantastic, each making 31 saves Shesterkin and 33 for Swayman. So just a really good balanced game. And to end it all was Keandre Miller in round number 9 of the shootout. Wow. So just a really fun shootout. It was an entertaining game. Good goaltenders, good teams. This could be a playoff matchup for all we know. So it's always fun to see these East teams play each other. Just a good game.
I was laughing. I was waiting, just sitting there hardly watching the shootout. I wasn't even paying attention. And then I heard Keandre Miller's name, like, oh yeah, here we go.
It was a beautiful goal too.
I literally watched like 2 out of like the 12 shots.
One of them. Out of the 9.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Super long shootout, but we don't see those too often.
I think Trouba said at the end of the game something about he was telling the coach to put a defenseman out there, but he didn't want it to be him.
Oh, really? That's funny. No, great game there. I'm going to move it to, unless Chase wants to talk in depth about it, I'm going to finish my quick rips with this Vegas and Avalanche game last night a little bit. Because Jordan, you got the Florida game. So, I'll talk about the Vegas Avs game. Biggest storyline, obviously, Jack Eichel's return. Did you guys get a chance to watch this game?
Yeah.
I watched a decent amount of it.
One note, Avalanche are really good at hockey. That's one. 2.
Nobody could find room here.
Yeah, Kemper is a legit goalie for this team. Like people were worried.
Especially that game, he looked elite.
He was.
If you told me just
sensational
and asked me what he is, I would have said he's an elite goalie.
Yeah, if you were to wipe my memory of every hockey player of all existence, but you showed me that one game, I would say is a top 5, top 10 goalie in the league based on that game. He was that good.
He was fantabulous.
Yeah.
2 straight shutouts for the guy. 53
super.
Saves in the last 2, so that's pretty good. I think he shut out the Stars. But then the Stars.
No, and then Ottinger. Yeah, Ottinger ruining their 19-game point streak in Dallas.
I can get into that quick if you want. You got some things to say there, bud?
I got a little bit more things to say about this game. 1 play 2, Nolan Patrick left the game with an injury. McKinnon hit to the head. It was a hit to the head, but like, I understand he's got migraine issues, and I panicked when I saw that. Knowing who Nolan Patrick is with his injury history, I was like, "Oh shit, not again! Don't be out for months." Like it was light, but you never know. Yeah. And then I see him skating off, and it's awful. McKinnon a penalty, yeah, sure, but I've seen him do that way worse. I've seen him do that.
It was pretty unnecessary, man. That's for sure.
It was a little unnecessary, and It was an unfortunate event. I've seen McDavid and McKinnon throw their elbows way worse than that. So I don't want to give him too much grief for it, although it's just a player he hit. Nate, pick any other night, and it's nothing. It might not even be a penalty if it's not Nolan Patrick. Or it's the same as if Vegas did it to Bowen Byram. So
it's exactly right. It's just unfortunate because these guys do have an injury history.
Very rare injuries.
They have to, when they play, they have to be aware that is something they have to be cautious of.
Which is tough in a contact sport. Yeah, it's tough. You can only
do so much.
So, I just wanted to point that out.
It really hinders your decision-making, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Vegas, they looked pretty good. And Eichel, I guess we should probably talk about how Eichel played. He looked fast. He looked all right. His processing's half a second behind. You can see that, but it's his first game back in like a year, pretty much. I'm not worried at all. It was a good game. But
nobody could find room in that game, seemingly. Like, it was
a real intense game.
Nobody was going to score.
For the first 2 periods, no goals, and then Landeskog gets a random one from top of the slot, and it's all over from there, pretty much.
Brisket,
and Brissois,
See how Vegas do without Mark Stone.
Yeah,
because obviously, you're replacing him with Jack Eichel, which is fantastic. But Mark Stone is Mark Stone. There's no other Mark Stone in the league.
You get scored a hell of a lot less when he's on your team and on the ice for 20 minutes for sure. But Brissois, just while you mentioned him, I want to bring him up. Jordan, eating your words again a little bit. He was real good in that game. I was so impressed with Brissois. And it made me think, would I be comfortable if I was a Vegas fan getting rid of Leonard and letting him take it if it was necessary? Not saying yes. Not saying no.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't go that far, but no, it's nice that he's
reliable.
Games, but he is a reliable.
Right. You're not scared when you stick him in net. Like, oh no, we have a weak goalie.
With how good Vegas's team is, it just made me think if Leonard goes down with an injury or something, or he is that bad, I would be okay with swapping him for Brissois.
Yeah, like in the playoffs.
He's definitely a decent fill-in. Like, he definitely deserves his 2.3 contract that he's got, because it's been quite the rough road for him. He got scrutinized in like Edmonton, stuff like that when he was. So no, it's good for the old Brisket.
Obviously, too.
Winnipeg was the other one, right? Yeah. No, good for the old Brisket to show us his pads. New pads too.
Oh, those
he wore white pads, but. No, it was good. It was good. Maybe feeling fresh.
Absolutely. That's all I got for my quick rips, though. So I can throw it over to you, Chase. You wanted to take over?
Sweet up. I'll hit that Dallas game against Colorado, where some reason Dallas beat them on the road here 4-1. So I guess that happened. Showing up on a road game. That's technically 5 straight road wins for the Stars, but the last 2-4 were that 2 back-to-back road sets in 5 days against Detroit, Buffalo, and like Philly and Jersey. So like somewhat impressive, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
2 out of 3.
This is definitely the right step you want to take towards actually getting that road record and your reputation on the road smushed. So but my God, Dallas looks primed to take over Nashville by the end of the month. Like, the way this is going, I'll give you Nashville's games. Like, where is this? Oh man, I think they play the Avs, or not the Avs, the Carolina. Actually, I might get to do it later. I'll see. But either way, back to that Dallas game, the broadcaster said it well. Jake Ottinger, the old Otter, he was the cat's pajamas in the first period.
Pajamas. He's insane. I really
he's one of my favorite players on the Stars. Like, not only is he a fantastic goalie, but he's also a really big locker room guy. Like, everybody loves the Otter.
Yeah, I'm so much loving this man.
Yeah, the old Ott. Like, it's just unreal. Unreal gave the team confidence.
The old Erie Otter.
That's all they needed. And Pavelski, he got a point on all 4 goals. So they're gonna win there. I don't know.
Is he ever gonna slow down? Is he ever going to slow down, Joe?
So, because he's what, like 38 now?
30, yeah, 36, 37,
or something like that.
Yeah, 37,
but
38.
But yeah, you certainly got to think as he approaches 40, something's got to slow. But
he hasn't. I thought that was going to happen this year on the final year of the contract. Everyone was like, this year Pavelski is not going to be true Pavelski. He's going to be like a tier below, which was still great. But no, he's playing so good that he needs a pay raise from $7 million. Almost. If you're going on a 1-year deal, like.
After last year, it was pretty impressive what he was doing with Robertson and Hintz and how that line started going. He's now eclipsed his point total from last year by 1 point. He's got 52 in 47 games right now. So
that's insane. Yeah, like well over 5 points over a point per game. Like,
and he's literally a part of one of if not the best lines in hockey right now.
He also was a part of the best team probably to never win the cup. San Jose, he's had a rough go. He's probably due, man. He's so due. But
yeah, moving on.
Trust Dallas. What else we got?
The old Blues versus the Sens. The Blues just breezed past the old Senators. Sanko getting his 17th and 18th. Robertson assisting on both of those. He's now got 30 on the year.
Thomas had a great game too. Sorry.
Yeah, Thomas. Robert Thomas is what I said if I didn't say that.
Yeah, I thought you said Robertson. I was like, you're talking about Thomas.
Yeah, I think I said
Robert Thomas. Yeah.
Robert.
We know what you meant.
Jason Robertson on a wicked game.
like unreal good. Like you didn't even notice him. It was so good. But yeah, no, Robert Thomas with 30 assists on the year. Buchnevich doing the same thing, assisting on both Sanko goals and the goal that Robert Thomas got. So like these guys are just madness.
He's been sneaky this year. Like not a lot of people talk about how good he's been this year, but he's actually been incredible. Like certainly one of the Blues' top players.
It's been him and Kyrou changing that team with their youth, and Kyrou's taken most of the spotlight from
Kyrou's
Thomas.
Speed is just unparalleled.
Oh, he's so fast and so skilled.
Everybody take note because this is how you're supposed to do it for being a GM. How you actually keep
slow build.
Keep the ball
slow
turning,
build. Yeah, you keep building even when you're buying.
Yeah.
It's
amazing that they're taking the step this year when they need them to. That is great for sure.
Yep.
But let's be serious. If they weren't, I'm sure Shed's been pretty good lately, but I'm sure somebody else would step up. But Buchnevich, 26 goals.
So yeah,
that can't be right. That's ridiculous.
No way he's got 26 goals.
That'd be pretty cool though.
That would be nuts.
26 assists. Okay,
that makes sense. I was about to say because I don't remember him ever being up top scoring.
But that's pretty intense.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Rangers
complete
would be really that one.
Yeah, a complete display. This Blues team has 5 players with 15 goals now.
Can I piggyback off of that Buchnevich? Buchnevich for a second here. I saw a comparison on Twitter, and I just wanted to bring it up to you boys quick. Tyler Toffoli was traded for a first, Emil Heimanen, which is a 2nd-round pick, a 5th-round pick, and Pitlick or something like that, right? What was Buchnevich traded for, boys?
Pennies.
A 2nd-round pick and a depth forward.
Cap reasons.
Who is better? Yeah, I understood comparable, but wow, what a steal! We don't talk.
It was an awful trade from the Rangers, and unfortunately, like you said, they had their hands tied.
It was a bad trade to start, and it got awful. This is a wonderful player
in the league. Knew that they could get Buchnevich for cheaper than his actual value because the Rangers are in a position where they have to. Similar to Vegas right now, where if Vegas goes out and is like, okay, we need to trade this guy, and this guy, GMs are going to be like, all right, we know you need to trade them, so their value is going to be a little less.
Then the next day, Pacioretty gets hurt and they're saved.
We don't need to make them trade.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with that. I understood the stipulation with it.
Especially the fact that you have cap space right now. Technically, you could have kept them all this year.
Yep.
And then made this deal later.
Yeah,
I guess
and got a lot more.
Who's to say you don't make a forward move at the deadline because you signed Buchnevich on 1 year, $4.5 million deal, $4 million, whatever he wants to stay for a year, and then you go for the cup. Like they knew they were going to be solid this year and going for at least a playoff hunt.
Yeah, well, they have so many young players on young contracts, right?
What blew me away is that like the Zibanejad and Buchnevich hookup, and like they were like, it was just perfect. It looked like a match made in heaven for like the next forever, and they broke it up. And I just you could have went another way if you wanted to, but I guess getting Gaudreau was more important. I don't know.
And that's a great point too. They did not have to sign Gaudreau and could have used that money for Buchnevich. So their hands were not tied.
Like I don't know if you were gonna.
They tied their own.
Like you can't. Yeah. There's no way you put yourself in a Tyler Johnson situation where you have to give up like a second round pick or something just to get rid of him next year or this offseason. Like that's where I'm rattled with Buchnevich. Like somebody would have given you the third round pick or whatever. Like you wouldn't have had to pay to get rid of him. You know, like I know you get in a cap situation, but if you give up one of your better players, like
I still even like Buchnevich never has shown me that he isn't worth $4 million at minimum.
But this was the kick in the ass maybe he needed. Maybe he needed is a team to not trust him and be like, we the reason we let you go is because we didn't think we had no idea what you were going to do this year.
You needed a team that trusted him completely and gave him
the opportunity.
No, that's fair.
I'll go on to my next one. The old Washington Capitals playing the Nashville Predators.
Big game.
What is Nick Jensen doing in the slot, you ask? Well, scoring off a no-look pass by Garnett Hathaway after just a series of magnificent passing. It was pretty nice, honestly. Watch the replay to that goal. It was pretty.
Garnett Hathaway has been my favorite Cap this year.
He's a beaut, hey? Like it's hard not to root for him, man. But Caps fans, not done there. That is not it. Put your hands up.
Near done. Two hands up.
Scores a power play goal.
Yeah, power play goal from Ovi. It's been a minute. Too long.
32. Number 30.
Yeah, that's just nice.
From his spot, beautifully. Are you gonna bring up the coach too? Laviolette getting his 700th career win in that game versus Nashville.
Nice.
Getting up there with the old timers of Barry Trotz and all them.
Old Lavi's been around for a while.
He's been around, man.
Holy. But so this means not good news for the Predators. Losers of 3 in a row. Here it is with the Hurricanes, Panthers, Stars, and Lightning to end the month. Like, what if this team gets stuck at 60 points? They're sitting there right now. They could literally just get stuck there playing these teams. Like, good luck to those guys because this is not looking good. And like I said, the other pod, this end of the month or the last month is just horrendously difficult matchups. So I'm getting real worried about the old Predators, but they've at least shown me more than the Jets that they can handle adversity and play pretty good against big teams.
That's very true. While you're on the Jets,
they're looking. Things are starting to turn. The old Scheifele, he is playing like a pissed off teenager. Like, oh my god,
6 goals, 5 games, insane.
Mm-hmm. Got that natural Hattie against the Wild there on Wednesday. That actually ends the series for the Jets and Wild. Jets just squeeze it out 2-1-1. Get that extra OT loss.
For sure.
Huge. And then I'll go to huge back-to-back wins.
9 points in 3 games for Wheeler as well.
Yeah, Wheeler's been
really good lately. Can swallow that.
Yeah, I can swallow that pill. That one hurts, but I'll still stand by it. I'll stand by Wheeler's only good with Scheifele.
Yeah, only good with Scheifele.
No.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was on the right train for sure. Maybe wrong time, but
give it a month.
Give me the next hour, and I'll be on the right train.
Well, you're right about one thing. He's not going to score very many goals.
No, sure. And he's definitely not going to be plus 5 on 5. Because he never has been in his career.
But anyways, I'll move on. Huge back-to-back wins for the Oilers, shutting out the Sharks 3-0. And coming up big against the Kings.
Yeah.
Huge game.
Drew Doughty's 1,000th game.
Yeah, the celebratory 1,000th game. Yeah.
Did you guys see the Trevor Lewis thing for Doughty? Sending him a video because they were teammates in LA. He was recording a video. Matthew Tkachuk came in as he was recording it. And he's like, hey, Drew, congrats on your 1,000. He's like, oh, Chucky, how's it going? And he's like, oh, sorry, Drew, that's just my new best friend. And
awesome.
It was super funny. So
yeah, he was like talking. His speech was awesome. His speech was awesome. Go on Twitter. I'm sure I liked it or something like that. But yeah, the Oilers lost their first back-to-back set this month to Vegas and Chicago. So this was the second back-to-back set, so they evened themselves up here. Only 2 more back-to-back sets to go. Woohoo! So this Saturday, the next back-to-back set starts in the Ice Box in Winnipeg. And then they have the home game against the Wild. So looking forward to that game. That Sunday game against the Wild will mark the 5th game in 7 days. So that's fun.
Crazy. That's fun.
Yeah, hey. Holy. Yeah, I picked up Cody Ceci this week and tossed him in. Got that 5 games.
Yeah.
Let's go. After that 26-minute performance, I was what's to lose? Already got me an apple.
Well,
maybe it's plus minus.
Yeah, at least that doesn't matter as much.
No, they actually even. I've seen their minutes even that out a little bit more. Playing 18 minutes, the guys, instead of CC playing 26 at one game. But yeah, Toffoli seems to have lifted everyone else around him as the Calgary Flames continue winning.
I'm starting Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel pretty sweet about this guy. As in, is he our new Justin Williams, the Canadian team Justin Williams?
That would be amazing. Just like kind of jump around for a couple of years and just be the best everywhere you go.
Being the vet.
Be the vet.
Bring some cups.
He's won a cup before, so he's won more cups than some of the most
LA.
prestigious.
It started with LA, won cups with LA. It's like the same story, man.
Exactly. I don't know if he won 2 or 1, but yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, no different.
No different. Not much
there, I'm sure.
Well, a whole Stanley Cup is the difference, but
indeed.
Yeah, speaking of the Flames, they thrashed Anaheim 6-2. It was a big game from Elias Lindholm. Johnny Gaudreau.
Big week for Lindholm. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
I'm so happy I put him on that All-Star team. I actually went back and checked to make sure I put him on that specific All-Star team. He wasn't in the starting lineup, but he was a scratch.
That's good at least.
Either way, I mean, just
Johnny Hockey's gonna want his paycheck. He's got 35 points in his last 18 games.
Yeah, that line is exactly what I've wanted to see all season. Is that Tkachuk, Gaudreau
5 points in 18 games?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
the Flames obviously love him. I saw some comments. Somebody was like, "The Flames love him now, but they won't when he asks for $10 million."
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Actually, when he asked for like 11 over 10 because he's in Canada, I don't get paid that much.
I'm as good as McDavid.
I would be intrigued.
I can go to Jersey. I can go to Jersey and get less taxes. Yeah, we know.
Even though we've learned that if you get the right financial planner, you can make the same amount of money that people in Florida who make more money than you make. So
use Questrade.
Our first ad on this podcast, Questrade.
Hey, if anyone from Questrade is here, hook us up as a sponsor.
Yeah, hook us up. We don't do free plugs.
Yeah, that guy didn't even mean to give you an advertisement.
Oh, there you go. We'll give you a freebie for this one.
8 straight, the old Flames. So
yeah,
that's ridiculous. I'll move on quick. Hit the Ducks. The Ducks
finish off with this one, Chase.
Okay. The Ducks clearly just didn't handle that 11-day break well or something like that. They lost to Seattle like a week or so ago. Just kind of getting worried with that. Dealing with 5 straight division games here. Starting with the Flames, who I believe
6-2 win for Flames.
Yeah, so not good.
Not a good start.
Off, playing Edmonton, I think tonight. Yeah, playing Edmonton tonight. So
that might be a playoff decider game throughout the season. Man. Like that is a very, very close game. That's neat.
Yeah. I like when I was talking about Anaheim not making the playoffs. I didn't think they'd just
fall off.
Check that off like in the next week. Like,
I agree.
Guys.
Well, based off my Edmonton rants a couple podcasts ago, like I had Anaheim in. Like I squeezed them out because of Edmonton. Then they fired Tippett, and I'm like, this team's in shambles.
Obviously,
right? They're not gonna be
like. Who knows if the Ducks will get back going a little bit? Like
they definitely
obviously just hasn't been great, but like this is not good. Like
if they want playoffs,
plummeting horribly.
If they want playoffs, they really need to buckle down now. Like they got a good lead, that was great and all, but it's gone. It's time to start focusing up again if you really want that playoff spot.
Yeah, and these are division games, so you win these games. It's Edmonton and Canucks next. I'm pretty sure it's San Jose.
It's an extra point if you win. Like it's a literal extra point because you're taking away points from your divisional rivals. So these next 5 or 4, I guess, since they just lost, are more than crucial.
Dallas is already 1 point behind them, and they still got 3 games in hand on them.
And like Dallas was awful. Dallas was awful too, and
they started horrible. I would not have put them near the playoffs.
I didn't.
Like, I literally went off feeling that whole first 25 games. I felt that out, and I was like, man, I think there's more. I think these guys can prove more.
Well,
there was no like actual signs. Like, there was the few games that they played good and stuff like that, but it was just glimpses. Like they're so good now because Sagan and his
started playing the
line.
Yeah, Sagan got warmed up, and that's huge. Yeah. On Anaheim, while we're talking about them, I just want to throw out there, it's worth noting, they have 9 OT losses. That doesn't help. Those are differences between playoffs, especially in this type of a division. Especially with the talent you have and the space you get, like with Zegras, Terry, Isaac Lindstrom, like you should be walking 3 OTs,
especially with how they've been
playing. Yeah, you would think so.
And their defense, all are great puck movers. So, that's great on Anaheim. Yeah. But that's all you got for your quick rips there, Chase. Hey. And...
I could give you one real quick.
Okay, real quick.
The Blackhawks might have to put DeBrincat in the net or behind the net. Because we got to get Patrick Kane some goals here. He can feed them with passes all day. But
no kidding. DeBrincat stealing all the goals. Every time I turn on a Blackhawks game, it's like, DeBrincat has 2 more.
I'm assuming he's near the league still in goals. That guy, like, man,
you should be up there.
He's been just awesome. But anyways,
for sure.
Let's move on.
Jordan, do you want to give your maybe a quick rip or 2, and then in your in-depth?
I gave my Calgary rip, so I'll give...
just go. If you got your in-depth, then go for it if you're ready.
Yeah, I'll give my in-depth one. The Florida and the Carolina game.
Wow, fantastic game.
Literally one of the best games I've watched this year. It felt exactly like a playoff game.
Is your dog sorry, Jordan, is your dog getting killed upstairs or something?
Apparently, I apologize.
Is Michael Vick upstairs?
No, I don't know.
No, it's okay, no worries.
I'll go check that out.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it, man. We all have dogs and have had dogs.
Sergei Bobrovsky was great. Aaron Ekblad. He was fantastic. So good. He was astonishing. Like, every time he has the puck, you are watching him. Your eyes are glued to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, buddy, I actually hope he wins the Norris. Like, I picked him just because I just want to pimp him out for what he does all over the PK time, everything. Yeah. Like, man. Yeah. I hope he wins the Norris, honestly.
I'll just be a minute.
Yeah, no worries. And we'll continue talking game chase for a second, because that game was fantastic, and 3-2 win in overtime for Florida. Ekblad getting that goal in overtime. Let's start. While we're on the Florida train, I want to talk about that Barkov goal because that gave me vibes. Do you remember Pasta's goal where he did that weird like through the legs type thing? Gave me same vibes as that, just the other direction. Like it was amazing. Like
it was just the perfect time to do it. It was just so nice. And earlier it was not nice for like Trocheck tried to pull her in and just gets leveled by Marchment.
Oh, that was the hardest hit. There was two hits in this game where I was like, like they almost died. So good,
so hardcore,
so hard.
I'll bring him up again. Tony DeAngelo, this
another goal.
I love having this guy on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I know. I tried to trade him.
Another demon.
I almost traded you. Remember at the start of the year, I was like, "I'll take that Tony DeAngelo off you," and you're like, maybe. And then I hesitated like an idiot.
Yeah, no, probably wouldn't have got him off me unless he paid some real stuff there.
No,
hey, how's your dog? Is it dead or what?
Did Michael Vick actually break in or?
Yeah, no, everything's good. He got put in his kennel, so he was so mad.
Gotcha. Not kennel trained quite yet. That's a pain.
No, honestly, normally, like, since I've been home, which has been at least, over a week now. I got home on the 4th, that's the 17th. This has not happened. He gets put in his kennel, he usually lays down, sleeps.
Oh, yeah? So
the only time I've seen him bark is when there's kids playing outside.
Or the podcast is rolling.
Or apparently if the podcast is going, yeah.
So. That's okay. No worries, man. We all have our own shit in our house we gotta worry about.
He's a young puppy, so if you hear him, that's who it is.
Yeah, no worries. We just finished talking about that Carolina-Florida game, talking about how amazing Barkov is.
Literally, all I can say, it felt like a playoff game, and if I could, I'd watch it again.
Yeah, actually, that was really good. Florida tying it late, too, to make it even more intense. Like, I thought Carolina should have probably won that game, funny enough, but Florida's too good offensively to give it up.
Carolina only put in 18 shots compared to Florida's 31, which was definitely the big difference. Like, it seemed like Carolina is high flying, lots of shots, or at least they should be, and Florida managed to shut them down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carolina's definitely more of that structured ish. Like, I'll put it this way, like, I think the Hurricanes have like a 9 times better chance of winning the Stanley Cup than the Panthers do. But the Panthers have a chance the chances of the Panthers adding to that with like a Sherratt or whatever, because they need something going on more defensively on the back end, because they're just Panthers are the high flying team, but I'm just worried about how it gets when it gets nitty and gritty in the playoffs. Because
I definitely agree. Yeah, I'd probably put my money on Carolina too. I definitely,
because Carolina can deal with a team doing whatever they want to do to them.
Yeah.
You know? So
the biggest question mark I would have with Carolina is Freddie, because of past playoff history. But with how good he's done with Carolina, I'm not as worried as I was at the start of the year. So,
see, like, I'm worried with Bob, because Bob
absolutely,
he's not been great. Like, he does left in a softie. Like I'm fine with that, because I'm a guy who advocates towards there's technically every game should be 3-3, and you guys should stop talking about your goalies letting in a couple goals.
Agree.
Like, they're goalies. They're supposed to let in goals. Like, it's sadly the thing. Like, the game's
last line.
Unless you have Vasilevsky, you can't complain about letting in 2 or 3 goals.
Like, I was telling my brother, like, Vasilevsky doesn't make mistakes.
No.
Like, most
and when he does,
every goalie does, you know. And when he does, like, he lets in a couple of goals, and the team probably just didn't play good that game anyways. And they let in several goals, but they lost 5-4. Like, I'm just worried about Bob. He's a little bit of a softie, and we all know once it comes down to getting there, the last several times I've noticed, the 4 goalies in the final 4, like, they're unreal. Like, they're like, they're unreal good. Like, Varlamov was just outstanding.
That's the difference.
Vasilevsky was just outstanding. Price was just like, you couldn't just shoot it and score. Like, there was just no. Like I said, you just almost become mistake-free as a goalie, which makes no sense, because, like, how many mistakes do people make? Like, players, the skaters. Like,
like, if you made as many
complaining about goalies, like, screw you. You make so many mistakes on the ice. and it doesn't matter. So like,
yep.
The thing I stand by is the Caps would not have won the cup without Braden Holtby being so hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
absolutely.
Hot goalies win you cups.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah.
No, and I think both could be on their day, but we both known them to be soft in playoffs at times, so it's definitely gonna be intriguing.
I got lots of confidence in Freddie, but that's because he's like my favorite.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
We've seen him have bad seasons. So.
Yeah, I'm just being realistic with Freddie, and the sample size we have seen in the playoffs has not been that great. It has not been outstanding. Now he has a better team. I understand that.
A new team, exactly right.
So we'll see. That's all. We'll see.
He sets the precedent with this playoff performance
for sure. Basically. I'll jump in with mine because mine was pretty emotional. For me at least. Mine was obviously the Penguins-Philadelphia game. Penguins winning 3-2 in overtime. Don't even need to look at my phone. I remember all of our goals. First goal from, well, it was Phillies, but from Pittsburgh was Crosby. 500 career goals. Pass from Evgeny Malkin. Couldn't have been more perfect. And watching him celebrate, dude, this is going to make me sound like crazy, but I teared up watching it. Watching them celebrate with Crosby. I've watched him my whole life. He's my idol of a hockey player. I love this guy to death. I was so happy last night. And I haven't been that happy as a Penguins fan since 2017 winning the cup. And it was just wave of emotion. You could feel it in the building from everyone. Well on Crosby. Have you guys seen the stats of wins above replacement? His WAR stats. Do you know how that kind of works with it? Like the higher percentage, the more wins above replacement you get. So the better,
kind of.
Basically, you are defensively and throughout consistently of games. He is throughout since 2007, the lowest he's been, the 99th percentile.
Oh,
that is statistically consistently one of, if not the best players of all time, just off of that metric.
Oh yeah.
Which is unbelievable.
No, I get that. There's certain stats in all sports that separate the elite from
the
best
GOATs, basically. Yeah, the top 20 of ever.
Like, I remember watching this thing on Michael Jordan, and it was like the points scored in like a certain percentage, and like a lot of great players were all grouped up, and then Michael Jordan was like up here.
Yeah, and that's just the difference, right? Like it's really, the gap difference. It opens
your eyes to just how unfathomably great these players are.
Yeah, it really does. And as a Penguins fan, like I said, watching that, arguably the greatest player, greatest full two-way player ever. Like,
did you see Malkin tweet to himself or something like that?
So Letang posted so we won in overtime. Obviously, Letang scored the OT winner, and Letang put it on his Instagram, a picture of him saying "good feeling winning in Pittsburgh" and congratulating Sid and stuff. And Gino commented on the bottom, "Nice assist, Gino." It was so funny. I laughed so hard at that. But great game. I feel for Philly though, man. Like the injuries, holy crap, they were so decimated, so decimated.
It had to be Philly that Crosby got his 500.
And that's just it. And the best part is the next two games it didn't matter as long as he got in the next two. I would have been happy. It's Philly, Toronto. So either way, would have been so happy. But Philly's perfect.
You guys are lucky you won that game.
Yeah, we are. I can talk about that. We were shit. We were pretty ass. We had a lot of turnovers. I don't want to blame. I don't want to. I don't want to blame DeSmith because like he wasn't bad, but he wasn't the best. I don't know.
To tie it up, we got 2 goals in the third period.
Oh yeah, like we're
super clutch.
We're super clutch, and we're always pretty clutch. I wasn't worried. Like that's.
I'm sure you were. Yeah.
I don't know. It's Philly. It's Philly. So.
Yeah.
Just a game.
Yeah.
But I'll throw it over to you, Chase. You can close off with your in-depth.
Sweet up. Yeah, hitting you with the wings and wild on. Well, so long ago.
13th, 14th. 13th or 14th. And
Monday or something like that. Yeah. Jesus.
Monday 10 years
ago. 10 years ago. Started off, Mosa steals the puck from a rushing forward at his own blue line and gets it up to Larkin. And Jordy Ben just couldn't handle it. Just biffs out, falls over. Larkin skates by him, snipes the first one of the game. Laugh my ass off. Another nice little cherry is Gustav Lindstrom gets his first goal of the year. Yeah. Gustav, the old right-hander, not related to Nick Lindstrom. So nice to see.
No, he just has an awesome last name, especially to play in Detroit.
Yeah, he's already loved, and he hasn't even.
Well, how do you not draft a guy whose last name is Lindstrom?
Well, exactly. That's like if the Capitals see a guy late in the draft, and he's a Russian, and his name is Ovechkin or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because
like a 7th round random Russian,
auto-generated players.
Yeah, basically, right.
Yeah, got that long lost cousin. But yeah,
switched at birth.
So yeah, we popped off. We have 5 minutes in. We had two goals on these guys, and
then it went downhill.
But then Boldy looked at Jordy Ben and he was like, "Don't worry, bud. We'll forget about all of that real soon.
I'll make people talk about something else.
Hold my beer."
Yeah, no kidding.
Boldy goes out, gets 2 goals in 2.5 minutes. Nice. One, just some nasty hands, making Stahl look like a pylon. That was funny. And then Stahl gets a penalty, and Boldy's like, "Well, I'll shove that down your face too," and scores on that power play. It was a beauty tip from the high slot.
Yeah.
And then he gets of course he gets a hat trick. Like, he's just got the momentum.
Man.
No defense whatsoever. So
this guy has been awesome. He stays up. Rossi going down, like he's been.
Well, we knew he would be too, right?
Yeah, we eventually. I didn't think he'd be this good now. I genuinely didn't think he'd be this good now. I knew he could become this, and I think he can for sure become a third goal
we'll
scorer.
We'll see who he is, really.
Yes,
like,
obviously,
this is like
very small.
Up off the start,
very small sample size. But based off the sample size, he's been
unreal. But right after that second goal, like Kaprizov and Zuccarello created a little bit of magic, because they're just absolute magic, those guys, and it's so fun to see. What else happened here? Yeah, Boldy wasn't done. Completed the hat trick before the third period. He added another assist on the Eriksson Ek goal. Nice of Eriksson Ek to refrain. I think he pulled his stick back to stop from stealing Boldy's hat trick goal. So old Hattie Matty gets there. No fight though. He didn't have a fight to get the Gordie Howe hat trick.
No Gordie.
No Gordie Howe, but okay, that's all right. He's still working.
He'll settle.
Yeah, it'll do.
He's early in his career.
It's okay. It's okay. Somebody fought it, I'm sure, in that game, because that's just what the Wild do. Love just punching people in the face.
Punch people in the face, score goals.
Seeing them in the face.
So people thought about it as a slip up.
Yeah, that was the most hilarious biff. And I'll get to the old wings a little bit here. Boldy clearly wants to be a wing, if you didn't notice from that performance. And the power play goal I saw there, man, it just makes me happy to see Raymond, Larkin, and Sider scoring power play goals, because that's
all you need.
Future.
That's all you're happy.
Future.
Yeah.
And Sider tried his best. Played 27 minutes that game. Got a couple apples and a +1. And that +1 makes it 30 times with plus minus of even or better out of the 50 games this year. Which another consistent thing that's been going on is Bertuzzi with his famous turnover in the offensive zone. He thought he'd do that and give them the empty netter. So we lost. It was hilarious. We had the empty net for 4 minutes before that. Literally, we pulled the goalie 5:30 left or something.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Bertuzzi. He's so good. He does so much good stuff, and then he just makes a dumb pass or a dumb decision in the offensive zone, and it's just like clear no care for this being turned over and just going the opposite way. Like, it's just rough sometimes, but
maybe they're paying him the difference of his paycheck for not going to Canada for throwing games.
Well, like, that's the thing. Hey, is he just gonna not ever play in Canada again? Because, like,
well, with everything lifted, well, that's a serious question. Bringing that up, with all the stuff that's going in Canada, because they're lifting the vaccine passport and the mask mandate and all, pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. Hey, is Bertuzzi gonna be allowed to play here? Right? Because I guess if they're lifting the passport, are they just assuming everyone's? So they're doing it, or I don't know. Yeah. That's just a serious question. Like, will these players be allowed to?
Yeah, it is a good question, because we don't know if, like, this is going to be one of those things where it does need a vaccine all the time or whatever,
right?
Like,
and because they know he doesn't, are they just going to continue to say, nope, that sucks to be you for the season?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they could do that. They could literally just be like, no, you're still going to lose $350,000 because you chose not to.
You need shots when you go, like, vacationing to certain places. Like, that's how it is. Like, you have to take the shot before you go. You can't travel there unless you have these vaccines or whatever.
For example, I remember a lot of people that go to Mexico, you have to get shots before you go to Mexico.
They get a lot of booster shots and stuff like that. So I'm just curious what they're gonna do with it. I feel like they probably hold strong, but
I'm sure over time, if, like, once, like, COVID's, like, pretty much not a thing and stuff like that, and it's, like, legitimately safe to let it happen, I guess, but, like, in all reality, like I said, it all depends
they could
on,
literally
like,
hold it as long as they want.
It's just tough. I just don't know if it's gonna be cut off this year, start next year, right? It's a serious question we got to ask now with everything coming out. But that's all we got for a game review. Sorry for that taking so long. I think it's just we like watching each other talk so much about games now that we're seeing each other. What do we want to get into first? Jordan, are you ready for your GM, or do you want to get into the news around the league?
I'm absolutely ready.
You're absolutely ready? Cool. Let's throw it to Jordan. And Jordan's going to explain his GM takeover of the Montreal Canadiens. Go for it, Jordan.
All right. Good old Montreal. So I hope you guys are ready for lots of trades, because I am blowing this shit up. Let's see. So let's start with my deadline trades.
Nice.
The best place to start.
Absolutely.
The first trade I have is Jonathan Drouin at 25% retained to Edmonton for Tyler Benson and their 2022 first.
Ooh,
wow. So what's
Drouin?
So what's that contract look like for Drouin? With 25%, is that about like 3 mil, 3.2 ish?
I'm not certain. I'm retaining 1,375,000.
4.125 is what it would be.
Cool. That's not bad.
So about 4, I guess.
4 mil, pretty much. For Benson and a first.
Yep.
Man,
that's interesting.
That'd be pretty crazy.
What's his term? Does he have term, Drouin?
Yeah, he's got 1 year.
I'd probably do that. I probably do that. I like the term with Drouin. I think if you put him in the right system with McDavid, I don't see how that doesn't go well. You can move players down. Imagine playing Nugent Hopkins, your third line center forever now. You can have Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and then go like Drouin, McDavid, and Draisaitl, Yamamoto as your your three duos down the road.
I like that you put a nice, decent forward on Edmonton, because I'll probably be bringing something up like that later. But that's kind of cool.
Benson's
I'm not sure
a little
how
much.
It would work with the dynamic, but I feel like Drouin would be somebody that would play well with the McDeese, man.
Yeah.
The McDeese, like, he'd probably work pretty solid with him, I would think.
I'm thinking back to when he played with Nathan McKinnon and in juniors, and they were the best junior team, arguably of all time in Halifax, that 2012 team. I don't see why he couldn't play with the best.
And in all reality right now, I think Cassian's hurt, so technically they probably have room right now to do this.
Yep. Yeah, and realistically, you can make something work. Like if you
they can always make another move.
Swap Koskinen and then the deal and the money works instantly. So
yeah, get that Allen in there, bud.
Yeah, could do Koskinen and Allen swap. I wouldn't hate that for.
What you got next?
Yeah, but what do you got next?
Deals with Edmonton, so
okay. Keep the theme. Let's see.
The second one's an absolute blockbuster. Hugh Perreault to Colorado for a 5th-round pick.
Ooh, nice.
Blockbuster.
That's good depth. Yeah,
that's good depth.
That's good depth. That's just how it is.
Oh, they'd piss off Perreault doing that. He went back home to Montreal, so. But I guess winning the cup ain't that bad of a consolation prize. But no, good trade. It's a good trade, obviously.
Yep. So the third one's also deadline here. All of them will be deadline that I'm saying. Until I say it.
Yeah, obviously.
This one's bigger. This is the Petrie trade.
Ooh, okay.
Nice. Where you got him going?
I've got him going to Dallas, which I think is ultimately where he will go.
Yeah, I like that.
Ooh, I'll quickly hit on Dallas quick. I honestly do not think they're going to lose or trade Klingberg. I'm starting to really super side.
Funny enough,
I'm hearing. I think Klingberg might stay.
You're right.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is. I just feel like they might be able to work something out. But I've heard a lot of everything.
I'm hearing the opposite right now, funny enough, that they're even more likely to not give him a contract because they don't trust his injury history, is what the rumor around the mill now. So, yeah, that Dallas isn't a team to watch, especially for Klingberg.
Yeah, exactly. I'm real interested to see them because they can make like a pretty crazy move like this. So, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and that's exactly where
allow them to move Klingberg, right? Especially more comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm not taking Klingberg. There's a bit of a hint here. I'm not taking it back.
Okay.
What do you got for us?
I'm retaining 20% of Petrie's contract.
Okay.
And I'm sending a 2022 4th-round pick that's owned by Tampa Bay. For a 2022 2nd-round pick, a 2024 2nd-round pick, and Dawson Barteau.
Some guy.
Okay, can you say that one more time, please?
Okay, so a 2022 second, 2024 second, and Dawson Barteau, who is a young right-handed defenseman, for Jeff Petrie, 20% retained, and a 2022 4th-round pick that belongs to Tampa Bay, but we own it.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. You probably can't get a first for Petrie. 2 seconds seems pretty fair for a vet.
Yeah, and I figure 2 seconds.
Money retained too.
Yeah, retaining money seems unlikely with him. Like that's too long of a contract.
Yeah,
is it not? Like
that's my only question.
Like 3 years after
I'm
this,
only
like, it's not
crazy
long.
And a quarter, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I know it's not like a lot, but it's just
it brings him down to 5, and you're gonna be bad for those years.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
I have plenty of cap space left over.
Can you get a 3rd? And you got 4th, right? You said.
Not bad.
Change that to a 3rd, and I think that's. I know it's nothing much, and maybe change a conditional seconds or something like that. But yeah, it's right there, the value.
Yeah,
and
on the money.
I don't hate retaining because you're bad, like he's saying. Like Jordan's saying there, utilize your cap space. Utilize it. Get the extra pick. Like you're saying, Chase, it's unlikely to retain. Ekman Larson isn't a Zona. Ekman Larson.
He's 34. At a 6.25 cap, like that's a pretty high cap for
3 more years.
We're not really 100% sure how he'll be.
Yeah. So,
but him at $5 million was like a wonderful. I'd pay normal Petrie price almost for that. You know.
So I'm good with it. I'm very fine with that trade actually.
It's not the worst. Not the worst. Old Dallas, he would look good in a Dallas.
He would look good in a Dallas uni. Montreal getting picks makes most sense, and you can't get a first out of Petrie. You just can't.
Well, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to load up on picks.
Yeah,
especially for guys like that, because you're not going to be able to trade him for somebody
prospects.
Do you look like Zona by the end, or what?
Say that again.
Do you look like Zona by the end, or what?
4
first-round picks.
No, I definitely look
4 second rounds.
Looks better than Zona.
Say I look better than Zona.
Alrighty, what else you got for us?
Continuing, we've got the Ben Sherratt move.
Okay,
I've got him at 50% retained. My final retention. heading to St. Louis for a 2022 first and Klim Kostin.
Ooh, Klim. Oh, I like Klim. I'm a Klim
He has
fan.
been struggling this year.
Yes, he's always struggled with St. Louis, frankly. He's one of the prospects that couldn't get going.
You get your first. They want a first for him. That they're not going to settle for less. And you also get a struggling young guy who could definitely use this change of scenery.
Yeah, I agree. Because this sounds nuts, honestly. Like, if I'm a GM, I'm saying, Montreal, you're fucking crazy for asking for a first for Sherrod.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not giving you a first. But that's what he's going to be traded for. Like, the rumor out there is...
To a contender, they will pay the extra because they want to win a cup.
And contract is real cheap for just a big, strong unit.
I know my boy... Dougie Armstrong there in St. Louis. He ain't doing that. He ain't giving you Klim Kostin, bud. Sorry, not happening. No, not him.
Maybe
he's not
after
the guy.
The season he's had, because he's played a lot of games.
What if you made like another swap with it, like another depth guy in Montreal? Is there anyone who's just
like what I'm saying is they wouldn't give you Klim Kostin. They would give you somebody else. They would not give you Klim Kostin. I don't think they would. He's kind of like, to me, he feels like a future. Like your future, not like the type of Kyrou or Thomas, but like in the future plans of being in their lineup in the future as a depth guy. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah,
I think he's part of that role.
More. Like I've got plenty of picks, or I could put in, like you just said, another depth guy.
Well, like what about
Logan Brown or one of those guys? Logan Brown's been looking all right. They have through this team. They got too many good players, anyways. Take somebody, right? But you got to wonder what everybody else is going to offer, because you did 50% retain it, and that's the only way I'm giving anybody a first round pick for Sherrod. But I feel like it's only a first
unless it's retained.
I feel like I'm only giving you a first, though.
But if there's multiple teams offering,
and they want a first and a young player.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just don't think it would be.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see the argument.
You could probably. I wonder what you could do to, because I like getting Klim Kostin from Montreal. I like the sound. It's
you could always give him a deep pick or something.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what would it take to?
Like I could tack on a fourth. Hell, I would even probably stick a third.
Yeah, like for Klim.
Yeah, like a 2024 third pick or something, or a fourth. Like just go way deep. You know,
and they could even send like this. They could send Tyler Pitlick over in it. Like he's a depth guy. I know they just got him, but they could send Tyler Pitlick
somewhere else. So.
I'm looking at Logan Brown in that first is what I would do for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be very okay with that. Maybe you give him a Jake Wallman or one of those kind of guys, because they've got good defensive depth. Like they might be useful to Calgary or the Canadians since they're
I think it's
defenses in shambles.
I think it's a pretty good trade for the most part, though. It's right there, like Klim.
Take back Charlie Lindgren.
Yeah.
So now I'm calling Edmonton back up for the second time, and I don't think it's the final. Oh, it is actually. Okay, it is the final. You mentioned Jake Allen.
Nice.
I think he'll be heading to Edmonton.
I don't mind that.
Edmonton can gamble on another goalie, especially with the injury problems they've got, and it's not going to cost them an arm and a leg. I'm only asking for a 2023 third and a 2022 sixth.
I like that.
A third and a sixth.
That's very fair. You're not overvaluing that Jake Allen's Jake Allen.
No, I don't think as a rental, I don't think he's going to be worth a ton, but I certainly think he's worth at least a third, especially to a team like Edmonton that if they're contending, a goalie like that could be the difference.
Yeah, and Montreal is not in the mindset anymore with Jake Allen where they need him.
No, at this point, Montreal can move on comfortably from Jake Allen.
Yeah, because they're not good, so they don't need him to win games. So
exactly. Pull the old Buffalo Zona and just don't have actual starting goalies.
I'm okay with that because it introduces new goalies that actually get chances. And if you're bad, good. If you're not, then even better. Like as a team like that. So I
could
love
see I could see them giving them like Koskinen or something just to shed the cap. Because at this point, somebody will take Koskinen because they're giving up on their season. Sort of thing. Like so. I can understand them taking that, not being too worried about the money.
And they can always
maybe that switches
deal,
other things.
Right?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
But like with Montreal too, like you could take him for free.
They need somebody to play, right?
Yeah, and he's up next year, and you could walk him to free agency next year and be like, bye.
At the end of the year,
So, lots of options there, so that's awesome. Is that your last deadline move?
No.
Lots more.
No.
All right, let's go.
I said, I'm blowing this shit up.
All right, let's go.
A similar blockbuster. It's Brett Kulak for a 2023 4th-round pick. He's heading to LA.
Love it.
Nice.
I love Brett Kulak.
Yeah. Kulak for a 4th.
Yep. 4th-round pick.
Love the Coos. Do you retain it all or anything, or just send him there? I guess you wouldn't have to with LA. They probably have room.
I can't retain anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Plus, it's literally just Kulak. What is he making? Like $1 million.
1.8. It's just it's LA. They have lots of room, so it's no big deal.
Exactly. So.
Next, I'm calling Florida up. I just got Tyler Pitlick, and I'm saying goodbye.
Nice.
To Florida for Logan Hutsko.
Nice.
That's some these days. Yeah, they could maybe use them. I wonder if Florida would go for it. They've just had everybody so good. Like all their forward.
At the very least, they're trading a guy who hasn't played a game in the NHL. He's 23 already. And for a guy who will play in the NHL. And he is a body, at the very least.
A depth.
Yeah.
Right. And in the playoffs, a body over a 23-year-old who hasn't touched the ice is probably better.
I don't see Florida doing it simply because like their depth forwards have been amazing. Like you don't even play like Marchment and some of these guys some games. Like Thornton's not playing. And,
but that's with Pitt. Like I think that's the
right
point.
Winger is Hornquist. You know.
Like, I think that's the point.
You
with
got
Pitlick.
Mammon on the first line or something sometimes, and you know it's just they have a lot of options. I can understand if they go get an injury or something. That's going to easily happen. I think it would take an injury though, for them to go and stab for a Pitlick or something because he has a good depth addition. It's just that they have like Lindstrom, like you could just name guys for like 25 minutes of just guys that just step in the lineup for that team. So.
For sure, but for me, I'm going to agree with it because I like Pitlick as a 13th forward. No one says you need to play him all the time at all. Frankly, like you don't need to play him a single game in the playoffs. You don't want to. Like Jordan said, if you're giving up on a 23-year-old that you don't truly believe in, and that's the only time you're trading a prospect is if you 100% don't believe in him anymore.
And I don't think they do. Like I said, he's a 23-year-old and he has not touched the ice in the NHL.
And maybe he will with Montreal. You never know. It's a leap in the moon chance for him,
especially at this point.
So I like it.
With the prospect pool in Florida, like they probably don't need him.
No, and if as long as it doesn't cost more than like that, and maybe like throwing in like a 6th round pick or something stupid like that, but like as long as it doesn't cost that and you can make cap work without playing short a night or something, I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat because Pitlick's a good 4th liner.
Yeah.
Sorry,
the next move long time up New York, and New York's getting back-to-back phone calls.
Alrighty.
So my first phone call, I'm sending Arturi Lekin in there for Vitaly Kravtsov and Nils Lundqvist.
Holy. That's a lot.
Here's my mind. Kravtsov at this point is negative value. Or at least worth like a 6th. He's not valuable.
I disagree.
Nils Lundqvist is worth like a 3rd. I would either do Kravtsov in a 3rd or Kravtsov and Nils Lundqvist. I figure they're probably more likely to want that 3rd than they would Nils Lundqvist at the point where their defense is at.
Chase, I personally veto this big time.
Yeah, no.
Just because Kravtsov wants a trade, he doesn't have negative value. They're working it out.
If not negative, it's worth like a 6th. He's not valuable.
No, I think he's still worth a 2nd minimum. I would pay a 2nd.
Like in the situation he's in, I agree with you. Like he is. Yes, nobody will offer you the 1st round pick, like because they want to get what they want to get out of him, and you're not going to get that because he's in this limbo sort of situation. Because this happens with like every time there's like this limbo situation, people just don't make the deal because they're just like, well, who knows? Like like I can just give you a fucking 1st round pick for no reason, for some guy who, we're not even sure about. So Yeah, no. You just, as a GM, you just don't do this move because you can't give up on a guy. You stare at him and you say, you don't
you
like
hope
it here.
he steps up next year and makes the team.
Play better.
Yeah.
Play better. Get out of here. You play yourself out of here because I can't. It makes no sense for me to trade you for, like you said, he's an invaluable for whatever. Who's gonna give me whatever? You know. Again. So yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing.
This year, and I don't think he will play again.
And that's the thing. Really, like, has he spoiled that? You know, has he spoiled that? And in Rangerland, because then that makes him not valuable to, like, why would I give you something?
Right? Like, at that point, the fans want him out, so they should just do it. They like whatever it takes.
Right.
And at this point, it would bring in a big physical guy that would replace Sammy Bly while he's gone, and then complement him ultimately.
Yeah, I like the Lehkonen to the Rangers and all. Like, I'm not disputing that. And
I wouldn't put
Lundqvist.
I have so many picks. I'm sure I could tack on a pick to make it work.
I'll just tell you my side of it for Lundqvist is right-handed.
I think I might accept it.
Lundqvist is right-handed and a very good puck-moving defenseman. Before this season, they were thinking he could be better than Keandre. Or 2 years ago, they were like, Keandre Miller, he's better than, and all this.
But he hasn't been.
Hasn't yet. Defensemen take till they're 24 to get to the NHL. Average age of a normal top 4 D-man 22 to 24.
24. Now it's honestly like 25, 26. Like, it's getting older.
Yeah, it can get even older. For sure.
The mindset, right? Like, it's that mindset's just clicking once older, more experience.
Yeah, so I value Lundqvist actually fairly high personally. Like,
fair enough.
A high second. I want at least a high second.
When I was doing research on this one, I saw a lot of people that were saying they would rather Nils Lundqvist gone than a third. Because the other option, like I said, is Lehkonen for Kravtsov and a third. Right. So I could just change Lundqvist to a third. But like I said, a lot of New York Ranger fans that I was reading would rather move Lundqvist than move that third round pick.
Interesting. I would never do that. Yeah, they're pretty nuts for that.
Yeah.
And with Kravtsov too, I do want to. I have some news on that too. I heard on 32 Thoughts they're working it out. Drury and Kravtsov are actually working it out. So. Like, this isn't like this isn't even as bad as the DeBrusque thing, and the DeBrusque has gotten better. The situation. Kravtsov is yes. Does Kravtsov believe he should be in the NHL right now? Yes. As do a lot of young players at that age that are high picks. Do the Rangers feel like he's ready? No. But they're working it out, and he doesn't want to go back to Russia. That's a very big point to make with Kravtsov. A lot of Russians, if they're pissed off, they'll go home. They have no issues with that. He doesn't want to go. He wants to be in North America. He wants to be in the NHL. This is a legit player. Just because you can't develop, you don't give up on a development.
I think he is legit. I just don't know if New York is the place.
Yeah, that's fair, but you can always trade him next year when his value goes up. Maybe he has a good training camp, and teams are like, I want him now for a first. I'll give you my first this year if I'm Washington and we're good. So personally, I disagree with those trades. I do like Lehkonen, though. Love Lehkonen to the Rangers, and he is valuable. Maybe for Nils Lundqvist.
I actually like the Lehkonen for Kravtsov, kind of, because, like, one, the situation the Rangers have put themselves in, and, like, right now, we're talking a trade right now. Hey? Yeah. So, like, he doesn't have very much value. You're not getting the first-round pick, but you could probably get a second-round pick for Lehkonen. I know he's had a rough year, but like, who hasn't had a rough year on the Habs?
He's such a good defensive winger.
I argue that for every player on Montreal is that the team has been awful.
Yeah, he's a fantastic.
I wonder if there's something there, because I do like Kravtsov to Montreal, because they need somebody big in that pipeline that has promise to play with 5'8" boys. You know, it's an actual. They got to make sure they have that going. So, I think you're onto something with Lehkonen and Kravtsov. I actually can see that happening. But
the more you're talking about it, straight up, I would be more comfortable with, if you were the Rangers and 100% done with Kravtsov and just sick of him. Yeah, I could do straight up Lehkonen. Other than that, no, I want more. And I try
if you're a Ranger, if you're the organization of the Rangers, you try to make this work, get him to play like at all next year, and if he plays good, then his skyrockets right back up to normal value.
And like we saw, like Jordan, remember we were talking about him the year before and how well he was playing. That he was playing his way up into lineups and took Chris Kreider.
I was high on him.
Yeah, he was pulling Chris Kreider down on the lineup, and obviously it just didn't work out for him this year. This guy's extremely talented, strong, big winger. I think he's got it in him. So, I think we can move on to your next trade.
Yeah, it's second I put the phone down, I'm picking it back up. I'm calling New York again. This time I'm sending them Cedric Paquette and a 2022 fifth for Dylan Garand.
Ooh. Sorry, say it one more time. So
Cedric Paquette and a 2022 fifth round pick for Dylan Garand.
Yeah, I like it. I'm just trying to think. I don't know what his value is. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what Garand's.
In my mind, Cedric Paquette plus a fifth should be fair.
I'm just trying to think.
I just don't know what you said his value.
Right, because like he was a fourth round pick. I get that, but he had a good World Juniors. 2 games. But he had a good juniors. Good. I wonder if
what I want.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'd add a fourth. Give him Paquette and a fourth. Like give him their pick back for it to make it more. If you have Shesterkin and they can get some depth, yeah.
And Montreal could use a prospect, right?
Yeah.
A goalie prospect.
Yeah, with Primo, push Primo. You need 2 goalies push each other. Garand and Primo could push each other for the next 3-5 years. So yeah, I like it.
So I would certainly be fine with sticking a fourth on that.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting a goalie prospect. They could definitely do with one.
Yep. And then the final deadline move is to your Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh, interesting.
Chris Weidman going to Pittsburgh for a 2022 fifth.
Sure. I'll be honest, we don't need a depth D-man like that. I'm okay with it, obviously. If I'm being brutally honest, I'd kind of want that Kulak that you mentioned earlier instead of that Weidman. My thought is that... We got Ruidel as our 6th, and then we got, like, Friedman.
Yeah, my mindset on it was that Pittsburgh has so many injury problems. Another player that could play.
Yeah, and you got to understand that, like, everybody does this. They all just pick up some extra.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, literally, like, I was looking at Tampa Bay, and I'm looking at, like, Boris Kachuk and Cal Foote and these guys, and I'm just like, trade for Travis Boyd, Riley Nash, trade for random guys, trade for, you don't need to play these guys. Like, they're not playing amazing.
No.
You can probably get a veteran guy that's going to do, like, probably, well, you'll just feel a bit safer about it, maybe, sort of thing. But weirdly enough, I'm so interested to see where Chris Weidman goes, because he will get traded. He's guaranteeingly getting traded somewhere as, like, a depth piece. And
I just wonder
why I want to know where it is, but
he's a little offensive for what the Penguins would use. That's the only thing I would say. But no, it's obviously nothing egregious about it. It's a 5th round pick.
It's a 5th. It's not like you're paying a second.
But I genuinely don't think Pittsburgh will give up anything like this deadline. I think we're going to be the quietest team at the deadline.
Literally, so the fact that he's going to Pittsburgh doesn't really matter. I'm just getting a 5th for him.
Yeah, you just want to pick, obviously. It could be Team X. Team X for a 5th.
Yeah, a 5th for him, and I just picked Pittsburgh because
my team.
Their injury problems. I figured. Yeah.
And interesting. So no, absolutely. Like I said, I would do it, but I wouldn't be like, Chris Weidman, baby, let's go. No, I don't care about Chris Weidman. Don't give a shit about Chris Weidman. No, that's good. That's your deadline.
That is my deadline done.
Well, do you have the team in front of you? What it is after the deadline? Because I'm curious what this team looks like after being blown up at the deadline.
Let's see. It'd be Suzuki, Hoffman, Gallagher.
Okay.
Anderson, Dvorak, and Caulfield.
Yeah.
Kravtsov, Jake Evans, and probably either Klim Kostin or Pitlick. Pitlick.
Okay.
And then the depth forwards would then be Paling, Laurent Dauphin, Tyler Benson, Paul Byron.
Yeah, those type of guys. Okay.
Defensively, I would be David Savard, Romanov. I would have Sami Niku and Cale Clegg. And then I would have any of my young depth defensemen on the right. So Nils
I like that. Like the defense is horrendous, but
that defense is a problem.
Corey Schooneman.
Yeah.
It's not fantastic, but
that team awful. Is better than I actually thought it was going to be. Right? That's way better than I thought it was.
But we're not shit.
No, your offense is pretty solid. Like you got a decent forward group for St. Louis to work with.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I still have a few more moves.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you just fast forward to the draft?
Yeah, the draft night comes
in Montreal.
Yeah,
yes,
in Montreal. Now
I'll explain quickly. Montreal's pick was protected, so they get there first this year, and they send Carolina's 2022 pick to Arizona.
Correct.
That was part of the Dvorak trade. So
correct.
I wrote that in just because I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, no. A lot of people probably didn't notice that, so that's very worth noting.
Or know that.
Why don't you go on with your trades? What do you got on here?
I make one.
Or did you have the where you're selecting by chance or what picks?
I do, and I can do that right after.
Okay, do your trades first. Yeah, go for it.
So I have one trade on draft night. I'm sending Joel Armia to Vancouver for Tyler Mott and a 5th.
Ooh, Joel Armia for Tyler Mott and a 5th. Is Joel Armia up after this?
No.
Like, would that be his last year?
No, I think he has 3. So I think he'd have 2 more.
For Tyler Mott and a 5th?
Yes, and Tyler Mott's expiring.
Chase.
Buddy, that's a nice trade. I like that because Armia needs to get the fuck out of there. You see his stats, man? He's been just absolutely no one. He's not even
worse than the team.
I knew this was going to happen.
Can they afford
why
him?
They have so many forward or wingers is just unbelievably dumb. They just pushed Lehkonen and Armia to have shit years this year by putting them on the 4th line because it's literally you can't put them higher.
No, I agree. I love
Gallagher's pushed to your 3rd.
I love Armia. Can Vancouver afford? They should be. I don't know.
Well, the way things are going, they're going to trade somebody. So
they're going to keep Mott. Mott is going to ask for over $2 million. Not much more, probably, but over $2 million. Right?
That's a lot of money.
They could really use Armia, man.
Yeah, I'm okay with it for sure. I was just questioning the money side of it because it's a fair question. Armia makes like $3.5 million, hey, isn't it? Yeah, so that's not ideal for a bottom line when you're already at the cap ceiling.
I'm sure Vancouver fans are saying absolutely no way. There's no way they're trading Mott. Is probably what they think. What was the trade again? Mott and
a 5th
and a 5th for.
I don't hate that though. Armia.
I don't think you even have to give up a 5th. Like I think that's
because of the contract.
Decently touted Mott is.
Yeah, no,
and the fact that you have to deal with his contract and like all that sort of wooey crap.
I'm cool with it. I think I'm okay with it though.
It'd be a weird move for Vancouver in a sense. But in all reality, it wouldn't be because like they're probably going to move on from a Garland or a Miller.
Yeah,
so then you're missing like a 28, 29-year-old in your lineup. They've been looking for a right-handed player for I don't know, like the entire life of their career. So,
yeah, that's a very good point. He is right-handed. Yeah,
and he would get to play 3rd-line minutes there.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And he'd probably be great on the PK and stuff like that. I couldn't tell you how much PK he does, but I'm sure he's a 6'3" guy should be able to block some shots.
He does play PK. Tyler Mott does too, so you're replacing your PK guy right away, which is nice.
Yeah, that's what I don't love about it is that
Mott's pretty good, but that's a good.
Mott is expiring, and Mott's going to cost them money. So in my mind, they could move him for a guy who's maybe more worth the money in their opinion.
Yeah, it's really. Do you want to pay the extra $1.4 million because that's the difference in cost for the right-handed Joel Armia over Mott? That's just the question you got to ask yourself as a GM. What's more valuable?
Yeah,
they're doing a little reset anyways. The old Canucks.
I'm cool with that. If they make a run for the playoffs and they got Armia,
it gives them a little bit of a retool to make that contending run.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it a lot
another
more.
contract to trade.
So that was my one draft.
By the way, I'm only okay with that trade with Vancouver if they shed some cap. Like they have to shed a $4 million contract minimum to be gone. Like a Pearson type. I know he's only 3.3 or whatever.
Myers.
Yeah, Myers, Garland, Miller. I don't care who, but they need some money.
They shed cap. Yeah,
for sure.
Fair enough.
So that's your only trade on
I'll
deadline?
tell you my drafts. Yeah, that's my one trade on draft night.
Cool.
I'll tell you my draft selections. I rolled 13 times with my eyes closed.
Okay. Why 13?
That was the number. Because that was my girlfriend's favorite number. And
okay.
She told me.
Fair
she
enough.
said 13. I picked 13 times with my eyes closed. Lucky number 13, I landed Shane Wright.
Okay, so you did get number 1 overall. Nice.
I did get number 1 Shane Wright.
Hey, the balls land in your favor. Well, we know it's not going to Arizona. That's beef.
Yeah. So then my second selection was 18th overall, which was Edmonton's first. I'm taking Marco Kasper.
Yeah, I like him.
From Austria, the Austrian center.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks pretty solid.
My first overall pick, or first round, sorry, was 23rd overall, and that's from St. Louis's first.
Yep.
That pick, I chose Tristan Luneau.
Oh, I like him. Mm-hmm. Right-handed, good scorer in the queue, first overall in the queue.
Yeah.
Got what team he plays
Frenchman
for.
as well.
French.
I figure Montreal likes their Frenchman.
Right-handed, man, that is amazing. Love Tristan Luneau in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then my fourth pick was 29th overall, and that's Calgary's pick. So Calgary went deep.
Ooh.
I like to see that in this.
That's cool.
I chose Nathan Gauthier.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know him as much, but no, I know the first two pretty well, obviously.
Yeah.
First three.
And I did the only two other picks I did were my second rounds, because that's about as deep as I know.
Right.
The 33rd overall pick, so the first pick in the second round, was Adam Ingram.
Okay. I somewhat know who he is.
As far as I know, he's committed to a university in Quebec.
Okay.
So I figured that would be good. That would keep him in Quebec.
Yeah, no, I like the theme, obviously. Yeah, going with, obviously, hometown, a couple boys. It's Montreal, they love that shit.
Montreal likes their French and Quebec players.
Oh, and they got a couple, because,
Not to mention, this draft has a lot of good French players.
Yeah,
so
and you get Shane Wright. That would be the best draft in Montreal history, arguably. Getting those type of players.
I have one more good pick here.
All right, what's your last one?
49th overall, which belonged to Dallas, is Pano Fimis.
Why don't you give us a little introduction to this? That's a beautiful name. That's a beautiful name. Hamo. I'm going to name my kid Hamo.
Hamo Fimis.
Ham-O Trombley.
Going Hamo.
Surprisingly Canadian.
No way.
He plays in the O. He plays in
Hamo plays in the O.
Yeah, Pano, yeah.
Pano
Fimis. He's from Ontario. He's a young center.
This is amazing.
He's right-handed. His stock was a lot higher. Originally, he was being touted as like an early second round, but obviously he's fallen a bit as I'm picking him around 49th.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah,
but I definitely like Pano Fimis.
That's an amazing name. I love the name. That's so good.
So that's my draft selections.
That's awesome. I loved it.
Those
are good picks.
Probably not going to go that deep.
I am for sure.
Go randomly name some guy.
We'll do the first round at least, but yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can do it for first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll definitely do a second round now.
One off-season trade, and then I'll bring up my one free agent move and my contract.
Yep. And then let us know your team too, and then.
Yeah. So my free agent move, my off-season move, was I'm sending a 2023 fourth to San Jose for Jasper Weatherby.
Oh yeah,
I talked to Rhylan a bit about this because I'll be honest, I didn't know his value. I was gonna send 2 fifths. I wasn't sure if it was worth that or a fourth. Rhylan convinced me that a fourth is probably worth it.
Fourth's probably good for Weatherby.
Yeah, and
playing NHL games. What did you say? He played 40-some games when we checked or something?
Yeah.
He's not bad. Obviously,
no. I want him to play on my fourth line, basically.
Yeah. So
I want him to be my certificate replacement.
Yeah, just a big body, strong. San Jose is not married to anyone that isn't named like Hurdle and that is making over $8 million.
And it's not like San Jose could use it's like San Jose could use a pick, right?
And honestly, a roster spot's not that bad for Eklund coming up or whomever comes up. Like maybe they jump up in draft and get like something crazy. Robin plays or I don't know, Cooley, whoever. Certainly. But yeah, no.
So the one free agent I pick up to replace Sami Niku, not replace, but like replace where he would be in the lineup.
Yeah.
Good old Colin Miller.
Nice. What's your contract?
1 year at $3.8 million.
Yeah, that's a good
Basically,
deal.
I said to him, I'll pay you your contract for 1 more year if you just stay on this shit team.
Yeah, and maybe I'll trade you at the deadline if we're that bad.
And maybe
I'll send you to a good team.
Whatever you want at the deadline, you let me know and I'll do it.
I'll play a top 4 minutes. Play a top 4 minutes.
Play top 4 minutes for a year with me. I'll pay you good money, and then I'll move you where you want. Basically,
if you want to be moved at the deadline, you can be moved. Yeah, I love it.
Exactly. Or if you want to expire. Go to free agency again.
Yeah, I love this. I want to see teams do this more. Sign 1-year deals on some of these vets that are weaker teams or teams maybe that didn't have expectations. So this year, for example, like in Anaheim, LA, if they went and just said to a 30-year-old, like, hey, come play for us. If we're bad, we'll trade you away to where you want to go. But if we're good, you can help us be good and help our young guys score a lot of points. Like you can get more money out of this contract even.
Exactly.
But that is if he's not getting a long-term deal. Because if Miller's getting a long-term deal that's anywhere above 3.5, he's taking it. So
yeah. But even then, I would, with the cap space I have, I would be willing to pay upwards of $4.5 million to get him for a year.
You could pay him 5. You could pay him 6 and retain him to $3 million if you really wanted to. Like, if you really wanted to do that and get some value of him at the deadline, I don't know why teams don't do that more.
I want a top 4 right-handed defenseman.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
And I don't want to tie myself down with them, so I'm not going to go out and get like a Rasmus Ristolainen or something, right? Absolutely. I want a guy for either a year or 2 max.
Yeah, and he's useful
I'm going with the Stevie Y direction. I don't want long contracts. I'm not tying myself.
I agree. I'm the same boat with most of mine. Awesome. So you got a couple more signings. So what did you sign some of your players to?
Yeah, so now I've got my contract. So I re-signed Romanov, 3 years at $2.5 million.
Why not?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty. That's pretty fair.
I figure it's a little bit cheap, but maybe we can get him to stay for cheap.
I wonder if I don't know if that's necessarily cheap. I think that's probably a fair bridge. Maybe a 2-year 2.
Yeah, it's a
3-year 2.5 seems pretty.
Play on my top pair, so
I would sign that in a heartbeat. I know I would if I was the GM.
Rem Pitlick is getting a 1 at $1 million, so just a year.
Yeah, makes sense.
Primo the same, 1 at $1 million. Schuneman is getting 1 at $850K. Sami Niku is going to get 2 years at league minimum.
Yep.
I figure he'll take that because he's been waived twice now,
absolutely.
3 times now.
He'll take that. And to play minutes, he'll get minutes.
And he'll get minutes, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kale Clegg is going to get 1 at $900K.
Yeah, again, just a player to get.
Dauphine is going to get 1 at $850K. I'm re-signing Mott to 2 at $2.5 million.
Oh, okay. Paying him good chunk. I like it.
Yeah, he deserves a pay raise.
Yeah, he does.
Mott deserves a pay raise.
He is
especially
been good
with
for 2 years
in Vancouver. He eats minutes in Vancouver.
Yeah,
right? So
I'm
gonna
get
you gotta
for me.
You gotta wonder sometimes if you actually gave a guy money. Sometimes when they actually like seemingly prove it for a couple of years, like a lot of the times they give you such a low contract and stuff like that is because like, oh well, we want to keep you. We don't want you to like turn into a UFA and like all this crap. But like, what would actually happen if like a guy had a good couple of years like Mott has, and then you actually give him money and be like, let's go.
Good job.
Because like we'll see what you actually do with money, because you just don't see it happen very often. A lot of guys.
Yeah, and this is only 2 years, and in a rebuild 2-year contract, can bury it next year.
Yeah, and like as long as you don't go overboard, like Benning does, and say, "Oh, we can afford one more of those. We can afford one more of those. We can afford one more of those." As long as you don't do that consistently, you can afford to do that once or twice and take a few risks.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they don't hit,
a lot of my depth is staying under $1 million or around $1 million.
And if they're not,
I'm going to pay you more than that. You are proving it to me that you're worth it. Like Romanov, for example. Romanov is getting a 3-year contract because Romanov deserves a 3-year contract.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I like it. What else do you got for us for signings? You got a couple more?
I have Klim Kostin. I signed him to 2 at $2 million. Figure that's.
Wonder if you could get him cheaper. I wonder if you just did a 1 year $1 million since he technically has. I wonder if 1 year $1 million just to prove yourself type. Like he has not been in the NHL consistently.
Yeah,
it's hard.
The other thing I considered was 2 years at 1.3.
Yeah, no.
It was around.
Obviously, it'll be around under 2 mil.
Yeah, Kratsov, I'm doing 2 years at 1.25.
Yeah.
Jake Evans is another one I'm putting in a 3-year. Actually, this is his extension.
Oh yeah, this is extension. Yeah.
He's got an extension for 3 years at 1.7 million, which is fantastic.
It's a great deal.
I love it.
For third, fourth seat.
Tyler Benson, I'm giving 2 years at $950K. And then Montembeault, I'm giving 1 at 1.
Yep.
And that is it.
Pretty basic contracts, some death moves and all that.
A lot of small contracts because like I said, I don't want to lock myself down to any players that I can't bury.
Offload. Yeah.
I absolutely love Kraftsoff and Kostin going there. Those are 2 big pieces they could really use in their system.
Literally big pieces.
So now run the team.
Yeah, let's the lines.
The top 2 lines stay the same. Hoffman, Suzuki, Gallagher, Cole, Caulfield, Dvorak, and Josh Anderson.
Yep.
My third line becomes Kratsov, Jake Evans, and Tyler Mott.
That's
my
third
fourth
line
becomes Austin, Weatherby, and Pitlick with Benson, Ryan Paling, Duffine, Paul Byron, and potentially Logan Hutsko.
Yeah, that's
rotating.
And then what's your defense? Same?
My defense is Savard and Romanov. It would be Colin Miller and Cale Clegg or Caden Gooley, whichever one.
Yeah, I guess Caden Gooley making that jump too. I didn't think about that.
Yep. And then my bottom pair would be Joel Edmondson or Corey Schooneman and any young right defenseman. So Nils Lundqvist, Dawson Barteau, Josh Brook.
Yeah, whoever you end up getting. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I like that team.
Yeah, no, it's sweet. That's sweet. It's a good start, I guess.
It's a good start. You didn't sell everyone even
of the house.
No, I didn't completely fire sale. I could have flipped Hoffman. I could have flipped Dvorak. I probably could have flipped Joel Edmondson.
It doesn't hurt to do that this year, though, if you're bad again.
You flip those guys for a necessity piece in like a couple of years once you start knowing your prospects and who your guys are. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got those guys signed for a couple of years anyway.
You have all of the 6 picks in the draft that I took, the first and second round. You have 3 third round picks, a 4th round pick, 3 5th round picks, a 6th round pick, and 2 7th round picks.
Yeah.
So
you have a lot of picks this year you could move or pick, and then next year you have an extra 3rd and an extra 5th. And all your picks the following year after because you have Dallas.
That's madness.
You still have guys to trade away there, like Hoffman.
Exactly. I don't want Dvorak gone. That was one of the things I said. That's interesting. I'm not going to trade Dvorak. Hoffman I was tempted to flip, but I just don't feel like anyone's going to bite on him for what you want. I could get him for maybe a 2nd and a 3rd, but I feel like I'd rather have Hoffman than get a 2nd and a 3rd.
No, you're right for sure, man. I don't think nothing would make sense exactly right now, and I don't know how many people would want him right now exactly, but him and Dvorak are like, because Hoffman's contract's up not next year but the year after.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect time for him. Like, you picked Shane Wright, right? You got Shane. So
Shane Wright's gonna play that year too. You didn't even put him in your lineup. Crazy enough, we forgot.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So like Mike Hoffman and Dvorak can get traded not next year, but the year
right,
after, or in the off season.
Yeah,
and
because
then
Hoffman's on a 3-year right now, so next year or the year after he could be gone. Dvorak's on a 4-year, but even then, Dvorak's young enough. You could keep him.
Yeah,
he could be your third line center in all reality, like
forever.
You know,
and
so
ever. Yeah,
he only makes $4.5 million. It's not.
Yeah, no, that's
a great third line center, right?
Yeah, in all reality,
make that kind of money.
Yeah, I don't.
In all reality, now that I think about it, 100%, you keep Dvorak. He can be your third line center for sure with the right guy, Suzuki and Dvorak. Yeah. That's just perfect. And then you just trade your wingers because your wingers are wingers.
Yes, you trade.
You could probably get away with
the only one you're
Josh Anderson later.
Or Caulfield, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a lot of guys like. I think the Josh Anderson, like, you just keep him for the high end ability, and if he has a year where he explodes,
what he brings to the team,
like in time, maybe you
trade
him,
yeah, yeah, you see where the direction's going, how your direction
is following
path.
This team can get Shane Wright,
but this isn't a team like, especially getting Shane Wright. This team will be good in at least 2 years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they'll be solid at least in that many time. If especially Carey Price like gets fully healthy and is still playing, then like
even if he's not to trade for a D-man, probably. Hey,
well, Gooley coming up. Gooley could be a decent piece in a couple of years. Obviously,
obviously we saw him get a lot of minutes for Team Canada.
And we'll see him again in August. As they did announce, there's the World Juniors is coming in August. Northern
so
State
I definitely
US.
think Gooley's gonna probably slot into that top 4 pretty nicely.
Yeah, eventually for sure. I mean, I see him as potentially as a future captain. Now, if they get Shane Wright, I don't. But certainly, he's definitely been targeted as a future leader in the NHL for sure.
Yeah, if he has that leadership mentality, which not everyone does. Right?
He's a left-handed Shea Weber too.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I definitely advocate for Wright going to Montreal. I really, really actually hope it happens.
Wow, I advocate for Wright to go to any team for sure.
When I pulled up the randomizer, the first one that was up had him going to the Islanders.
Oh my god, that would be stupid.
Yeah,
that would be stupid. Oh my god, but yeah, that's all you got for the GM mode, obviously. That's great. I loved it. That was super interesting. It gives them a direction where they get prospects, get deeper. Prospect pool.
Some young guys. You keep your depth in the players. You're not paying too much on anyone. You're not tied down on anyone. You get lots of picks.
Yeah.
You're probably not doing this again, like you're probably doing this and then maybe the odd trade now and then, maybe an odd selling trade in the next year or two. Waiting for your time.
You probably do small trades throughout like every so often, like maybe 2 or 3 trades a season
before you have to do this big of a blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because let's be serious. Like, do you want to win the Stanley Cup with Price and Weber if they can get healthy? Like, is that the goal for this? Like,
Weber's done, but
Price, right? Getting Price a cup would be, even if he's not the starting Carey Price we know, getting Price a cup would mean the world to everyone.
No, what you do, you do what Toronto did in their first couple years with these young guys when in due time is, if hopefully Price is healthy, hopefully still there in 2 years' time, and Shane Wright's had a year, 2 seasons, get his footing right in the NHL. You hope that if you're a playoff team, you can do, like, I know Toronto didn't end up winning, but they built around these young guys and these young contracts with really good players. Went for a run. They didn't get past the Capitals and the Bruins a couple of years, but that's the way you go. That's how.
The important thing for me with this team was the fact that you need cap space.
Yep.
The NHL runs on cap space. Whoever has the most, we've seen it with Arizona. Arizona has loaded on picks because they have cap space, because teams are willing to dump players for picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Right?
So even if that's not the case, like here, I have about 10 million minus the retention.
Yeah, the cap space is the most valuable, like you said.
Plenty of cap space to sign free agents, to re-sign your guys that deserve it.
Yeah. Sign old PK Subban.
Yeah.
Bring him back
to a 10-year contract.
That'd be funny.
10 years at 10 million PK Super.
10 mil, 1 mil, or 10 years, 1 mil.
Yeah, no, that's a great direction for the Habs. I completely agree with it. But let's slide over because this has been a very extended podcast, so we gotta start zooming up near the end here. I got some news. I'm just gonna rip through, nothing too crazy, and then we'll get into our final segment, our trade segment. So let's start with a bit of Fleury talk here. Start with the good news of Fleury. Fleury saying he's hoping to play obviously the remainder of this season and next season. He says he's not quite ready to retire, but he knows he doesn't have much left in the tank. So,
yeah.
It's nice.
If you're a fan of hockey, you want to watch Fleury as long as you can.
Exactly.
He isn't the best of all time, but he's certainly one of the most entertaining.
Oh, for sure. He's longevity, too, in the game. He's drafted first overall in 2003, and he's still a starting goalie in 2023. Will be, right? Yep. So that's so impressive. Well. Yeah, absolutely. More Fleury news from Vegas. Their GM, Kelly McCrimmon. There was rumors going around. Fleury to Vegas. Fleury back to Vegas. He shot of Reinhart going down. Yeah, those were shot down real quick by Kelly. He said, I don't normally come out and say no to a trade, but I don't want the fans speculating. This will not happen. Which makes sense. Like, are we shocked that they're not getting Fleury back? Like, that marriage ended bad. So
they sent him back into Chicago for peanuts, literally.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hopefully Chase can get back in here. There he is. But no, good from Fleury. Hopefully we'll see him. I'm intrigued to see where he plays next year. Yeah, obviously. One thing I forgot to bring this up when you were talking about the Carolina-Florida game. I want to bring up Sam Reinhart because he tied the game late. And in that game to go to overtime, he has 22 points in 14 games right now. Sam Reinhart.
Jesus.
Draft. What was he drafted? Second overall.
Comment he made?
No, I didn't.
I can't remember the exact question, but somebody asked him something about why he hasn't been this good in Buffalo, and he's like, I don't have a comment.
Oh yeah, it was the playoff. They were like, so did that feel like a playoff hockey? Yeah. Did that feel like playoff hockey? And he's like, yeah, I couldn't really tell you.
That's funny. Buffalo. I mean, he's not wrong. So, he's such a talented player, though. I want to give him some love because he's been kind of shit on for a lot of years now in Buffalo because he was drafted very high, supposed to be this next future top line guy for them, and just never
was shadowed by Jack Eichel.
And exactly, as Jack comes into, like, it just couldn't get going. So I'm happy he finally has a home and he's showing how good a hockey player he is because he is that good.
He's exceptional
for sure. I got one signing to announce too. The Predators extended Mark Borowiecki to a 1-year $900K extension. Just some depth. Obviously, liked what.
I love it. I love what he brings to Nashville.
I
love that he's the guy that he'll throw the body, he'll drop the gloves. I love those kind of
Do you know who he reminds me of, Jordan? You're the only one who will understand this reference because the soccer player. He reminds me of the hockey version of Kolasinac, the left back, the Arsenal left back, the old one. Yeah, he reminds me of that, where like if someone tried to like fight him with a knife, he'd just fight it off and be like, "Nah, I'm good. Yeah. You can't rob me."
The knife will hit him and bounce off.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got a little bit about Arizona, but I think I'd be a skip this because it's pretty boring news. It's just their owner saying, no, this arena plan will work. We're putting a lot of money into it. It's like, doesn't mean it'll work if you put money into it. We've seen that with your team. So yeah, he's basically saying be less critical as a fan, but come on, they're playing a college barn. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's not a good look for now. I certainly hope that their arena in Tempe will be like. Yeah,
I hope it goes through. If not, I really hope they go to a new place. I just move. I want a successful 30. I want 32 successful franchises to interchange every 10 years like they're supposed to. Not. All right, we got 31 teams. And Arizona's in the basement still.
And Arizona.
So, yeah. I don't want to spend too much time. I think we can move off of that. That's all I got for news. So, do you guys have anything you want to say before we get into our final segment?
Nope.
Say it now or forever hold your peace.
Forever hold your oath. Eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I think that's it. All right. No, that is all. Let's get into our trade segment. Now, I don't know if we explained this last time, so I'm going to explain it again. If we did, I apologize. If we didn't, well, here you go. What we're doing today is we each picked a team. We basically picked a theme of whatever trade we want, whether it's what they want to offload, what type of player they want to get, what players they want to get, whatever the case is, anything and all things trade. Just pick a team. So I'll throw it to who wants to go first. Which one of you boys wants to kick her off?
I've talked a lot. I'll let one of you boys.
I'll throw it to Chase then.
Yeah, I'll throw you guys to the oil patch here. Wilmington Oilers is the team I want to talk about.
Cool.
Direction and idea I got going on for this team is trade Tyson Barrie. Get that guy out of here. This guy is no longer needed. I think that's what the best move is for the team. Obviously, that's where I'm going. I need a right-handed D-man. So second line, third line, right-handed D-man. You just need a defensive type of vet for that sort of.
Can I jump in with that while you're there? Now I worried about this because I didn't want to ask you boys what teams you guys pick. So I picked 3 teams to do decisions. I was gonna pick, if you guys happen to pick 2 of the teams, I was gonna pick the third team, obviously. Well, so far 1 out of 1. Chase has picked one of my teams, so I feel like I just want to piggyback on it. You saved defense and getting rid of that right D, and funny enough, I wrote down 4 names for you. I also wrote down goaltending, which I can add to, but here's some names less likely with 2 of them. Josh Manson, very less likely, but you never know. Ryan Ellis,
if he does leave Anaheim, right?
Yeah,
like that's why it's not likely, just because Anaheim seems like it'll be
right. Exactly. Ryan Ellis, if he gets healthy.
That'd be interesting.
It's a big right. Yeah, like he's a good D-man that could really help.
Yeah, he's really impressed in 4 games this year.
I know that's the issue is health, right? He's a good player.
Making a joke.
Next, I got Dean Cookin, who's just a good defenseman.
I kind of had him down. He was
nice on the radar option. And the man we talked a little bit about a couple podcasts ago, Damon Severson.
Yeah, no, you ain't getting Damon Severson. They ain't letting that guy go. I would never ever do that.
I would, based on how many defense they have.
The guys I'm looking at for defense are 1-year sort of dealish guys. I got like Anton Strawman, probably can't make the money work unless I dump like Koskinen into him and get like a different goalie, and I'm okay with Smith or whatever.
Right.
But I like Arizona Strawman and that Dyson Mayo. I wonder if you could fucking nab that guy off of them. I don't know what they would ask for it, but I would give you what you want for him, like 100%.
I was thinking that
if he can instantly start playing 3 minutes a game on the PK, like what more? Like that is what you need. And he's at least a future piece. I believe he's still under 25 or 25ish or something. So right-handed D-man, that's not a terrible idea to go.
No,
especially because he's cheap this year. I believe he's expiring. I should actually take a look at that quick.
I can look too. So.
But other than that, Mayfield. What do you guys know about Scotty Mayfield on the Islanders? Is that somebody they would actually think about giving up?
Now, what I've heard about him is that he is. By the way, Dustin Mayo is 25
he
up
is an
this
RFA.
year. Yeah, he's an RFA. They do not.
Rights.
Yeah, Mayfield. They do not trust him, that he has overperformed what he's doing by a lot. I've heard that he was Islanders pegged him as being maybe a 7th, 8th D-man on their team, and he made it to their 6th, 5th type. Now,
he's playing like 20 minutes a game, so it's.
They also have injuries, and a lot of guys not playing as good. Now, I'm not gonna say it's probably an upgrade on defensive end for sure.
I think it's a great swap.
Upgrade.
If we're talking Barrie going out and Mayfield coming in, I think that's the direction that works way better dynamically.
I would prefer that. Yeah, I would prefer Mayfield over Barrie in my own end.
Mayfield's possible too, and I'll get a little bit deeper into New York. But the other guys, Colin Miller, we've talked about before. A quick guy, and Justin Braun. It's an easy little snab from there if you want. And Troy Stetcher off Detroit is the other option I have for Edmonton for just defensive help as a replacement for Barrie, basically. So you either trade Barrie to someone else and pick up one of these guys, or deal with those teams. But the other huge hole that I see on this team, other than the obvious, is the actual third, fourth line centerman, a right-handed third, fourth line centerman that's actually going to be that guy for them moving forward, preferably a third. What I'm looking at for just like patches right now for like this year, throw whoever, not much. Riley Nash, a Jay Beagle, if you could squeeze him under the cap, because I know Arizona probably won't be able to retain him, but Sam Gagner. So there's just a couple cheap options where Kossi Pistol, a depth guy to kind of help out. But to actually get to the point that I want to get to and the type of player I'm looking for, which is like a depth anchor, a PK sort of guy, for now and the future, I'm looking at the Islanders, JG Pageau, man. I wonder if they, like, I understand he's got a no trade clause and stuff. I understand there's trade clauses all the time, but the people get traded because
you can waive
teams
them.
move on. Teams move on. It's as simple as that. I really like him. I know it's a lot of money. It's $5 million for like the next 4 years after. But
that
JG Pageau gets like 57% face-off percentage. He's that right-handed guy. Like that gives you the real 1, 2, 3 punch you need. Like the actual 3 lines. We don't need to talk about Nuge possibly playing center or how good Nuge is at center, or is he better as a winger? Like just get somebody real at center, and you'll never question what you need to do with Nuge. The other guy I have is an obvious one that's been talked about before, and I love it. I actually have a couple trades for you guys. I'll show you, or I'll talk about. Michael McLeod, the boy I brought up the other week there. Bring him back with his buddy, his brother, Ryan McLeod. Get the brothers together, get them on that third line, and create the McLeod line. Michael McLeod, right-handed centerman. I was talking about him, winning faceoffs, tipping pucks. He is everything Edmonton needs. Go out and get this guy. Just go out and get him. He's at least somewhat cheap right now. He's going to be on a cheap contract. He's getting better. He can get better with his brother, and then you create an amazing depth options down there. And I don't know. I just think it's a perfect fit. I think it's more the Devils just won't do it. I think the Devils are just I'm not giving them up
after his season.
Because honestly, trying to find a right-handed centerman that actually are somebody you want. It's not easy at all, especially for a third and fourth line center. But obviously, they need a goalie, a mid-tier goalie. So the Oilers could use Varlamov on the Islanders. They could use get Craig Anderson or something to take Koskinen and get another player.
Craig Anderson was wicked in the playoffs for us, so I think he'd actually be a solid pickup.
Yeah, him like Bryce Jones. Like I know they didn't want, or they were offering, what was it? Philly wanted a 5th round pick for Jones, and they didn't do it. So he's an option, but do you really do it? Like Jordan said earlier, Jake Allen's there, Yaroslav Halak's there. These are just you don't really need a goalie, but you need maybe somebody other. It doesn't even have to be Koskinen. Like it doesn't have to be other than Koskinen. It's more trade Koskinen to one of these teams that is giving up, because teams will give up and be okay with taking this contract. You get whatever goalie, it doesn't matter, because you got Mike Smith at least, as long as he's healthy. But you have cap space. Go make an actual move, beef up your defense or something.
Right.
Especially with like Keith being hurt right now. Like,
I agree.
Don't probably shouldn't piss around or whatever. But I
wrote down a couple of goalies while you were on that. I just want to jump in for a second. I just wrote down 4 guys' names. 2 obviously we've talked about a lot, and Dreger and Varlamov, obvious. But 2 other names I found interesting. Now, one, I know they said they wouldn't trade until the off season if they did, but I'd be intrigued if they might for the right deal. Is that Peter Mrazek? If the Leafs can get a goalie back, and a real goalie too, there's the issue.
Yeah, like an actual goalie.
Yeah, an actual goalie who can help Campbell. Then I don't see why they wouldn't do it if they can get some decent out of it. I don't either. And get rid of his contract now. It's harder to get rid of the longer you don't.
Move on from him, right? So
right.
I don't think that'd be a bad idea at all.
Absolutely. And then another guy who has performed exceptional on his team, but unfortunately there's a better goalie above him, and that's Antti Ranta, who could really do with a chance at the top goalie role, maybe in Edmonton. He's my favorite player to pick right now. is Rantanen.
Yeah, definitely for me too.
Again, if Carolina can replace him with a backup. No, that's all. Do you got anything
I think
else?
there's definitely opportunity for them to, somebody should be okay with taking Koskinen in and giving him some random goalie, like we're saying, and be able to actually use that cap space for something at least this year.
Yep. Yeah.
But I'll get deeper. Let's go into the McLeod trade that I was thinking about. Michael McLeod for Warren Foegele and Raphael Lavoie. Ooh. And that's like, I'm giving up a decent amount, but I want McLeod, and everybody knows you probably would want McLeod. So is Foegele and Raphael Lavoie doing it for you?
Probably do it for me.
I mean, I thought it might overdo it for me. I love Raphael Lavoie.
I really do like Lavoie.
I like Foegele
yes,
too.
Exactly, and that's what I want. I want you to be like, oh yeah, I definitely take that. That's all I want, because I'm thinking they're gonna be real stingy. Like, Devils are gonna be mad stingy on this shit. This is like a Tyler Toffoli, a Blake Coleman type of thing. Like, I'm not trading. Like, why would I trade this guy?
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Left-handed centerman ahead of me. I need this right-handed centerman. He's playing good. He's morphing into something. I don't care that you have his brother. I want his brother. Fuck you. Give me him. Like that sort of thing. So I think you have to overpay for him. But I don't think it's a bad thing to overpay for him, because I think a little bit more of what you're getting out of McLeod, and you're giving up on a Lavoie.
I can definitely see the argument.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Fogel's a decent piece, but he's got some cap. Saves a little bit of cap there. They're probably going to move on from Johansson. Maybe he's a guy that could fill in for him.
I think Foegele could be what they wanted Zacha to do. That's
the other guy. They could trade Zacha, so maybe they're just looking for at least a filler. A filler to replace somebody, because they might trade a couple wingers here this year. So
we'll see.
Maybe Edmonton get the pick back, but like I said, I think the Devils would be like, no, man. Like,
I have a quick question about Raphael Lavoie. Is he right-handed? I feel like he is. Yeah, I know he's a winger and a center. He can kind of, I don't know what he primarily plays, but like getting a right-handed guy back, a 6'3", 6'4", however big he is, right-handed winger, center, 21. Oh, I'm doing that all day. I'm so happy you called me and given me Raphael Lavoie.
Before you put the phone down, I'm saying yes.
Yeah, crazy. Exactly. It's funny that you're saying that we're crazy about it, because it's just crazy how other people view what you need. Frankly.
Right, yeah. When you need something, its value goes up exponentially.
Because as the Devils GM, I'm sitting there like, yeah, thanks, free, yoink. But I'm sitting there as an Oilers GM too, though, and I'm like, I probably say yoink back. I probably say yoink back. So yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you not feel good about bringing in Michael McLeod? Like, honestly, as the Oilers,
the only way you don't is if he isn't successful after next season's deadline. Mm-hmm. So I would give him from this deadline to next deadline. If he hasn't figured it out with Edmonton, then I'd be worried. But
thing is he does have an extra year. So like, it's not just this year. He has all next year on his contract at like $975K. So.
Yeah, man, that's amazing contract for next year too. The more you're talking about the contract length, and he's 23, 24. McLeod.
Let me just take a stab quick.
24.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, I agree with both teams. I think it's a great trade.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Imagine the McLeod boys.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
But I go to the Islanders. So basically, doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm still going to the Islanders. I'm getting Varlamov.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm doing. So I've got two different trades for you with the Islanders. The one that if you take McLeod, obviously I wouldn't go stab at JG Pajot, because you have McLeod. You're going more future-wise. I like McLeod for future-wise more than Pajot, because that could get ugly and obviously cost you too much money. But I just got Scotty Mayfield and Varlamov coming back to me, and I'm giving them Tyson Barrie, Mikko Koskinen, and then I got Dmitry Samarukov, and I gave them a first-round pick. Because I really struggled with the value here, because in all reality, Mayfield's probably worth quite a bit, like 1.45 mil for this year and next year.
Yeah, that's a
like
good deal.
that is piss all for how he's playing. like for how he's playing right now, honestly, I'd give you a second round pick for him. Like if I was going for a cup run, because like this is an insane cheap deal.
Do you know what though? Like I see,
and he's
like
great defensively.
Yeah, you say Mayfield and stuff, but I wonder if the Islanders say yes so that Lou can call Dubas and say I want Justin Hall, because they're basically the same player, frankly. Just Hall makes $500K more, and Hall is an Islander. Like he's struggling again in Toronto. Like this is his third stint this season where he struggled. I think is due he goes. And you bring up Mayfield leaving, Long Island should be, So I like that trade. I do. Yeah, I don't know what Barry's value is.
Especially with the first. Like, I wasn't touching Mason Barry with a 10-foot pole until you added the first.
That's the issue. He gets you points, and the Islanders could use some points.
See, like that's why I put him on this team, and I had to take Mayfield or something because I needed something back, and that's the perfect dynamic for me. And in all reality, the Islanders need more than just Noah Dobson as an offensive.
Yeah, no, I do it. I like it because they gave up Leddy. They gave up Leddy. Like you said, Dobson can't do the offense. They need help there. They need bad help, and I wonder how Barry would do in that system because he's made Mayfield
might help him
as a D-man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder, like, obviously everyone's like, oh, he's probably be terrible there. He can't defend. Like, realistically, that's the lane you look down.
Trotz, he knows how to play players.
It's Barry Trotz. He got the Capitals, who are famous for losing in first round and not being able to defensively get done, to win the cup. Like, that in itself is so impressive. Having a team built around Ovi win a cup.
Yeah. You also... Exactly. You also get a Samorukov with it too. So even if you don't feel so great about Barry, you're at least getting a defensive prospect that
could play next year. Should play next year almost.
In the next couple 3 years and be an okay D-man. It doesn't sound like he's going to be a top 4 guy, but it sounds like he can be a potential.
Yeah, there's potentially could be a top 4, but it's looking like a fifth type D-man. A really solid bottom pairing puck.
The value is where I get real confused because in all reality, like the Islanders are saving cap. Like they're getting, like it's Koskinen coming back.
Yeah, because he's off.
You don't have Varlamov on next year. You could probably sign Koskinen for Pissall next year. And keep him because why not?
Or
like,
just sign someone else even like first.
Or sign somebody else.
You won't have money in your backup. You shouldn't have more than $2 million tops in your backup for an Islanders team.
I don't really love it that much for Edmonton giving up the first round pick. I feel like it's got to be way too much. Like Koskinen, Barry, Samorukov, and this year's first round pick for Varlamov and Mayfield.
But that's like, when you look at the position.
Team,
it's position.
It's a different team. Like you have Varlamov as your 1-2 with Mike Smith, so you're feeling way better going into the playoffs.
Way better, than Mike Smith and Koskinen as your
exactly. Hey, and this is for next year too. You got them both tied up. You have Mayfield tied up for next year too, and your lines are Nurse, Bouchard, CC Keith, or Chris Russell when he comes back in Mayfield. Like
that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
try to score on a couple of those lines. Like we'll be blocking shots all day. So, it's an interesting concept, but I just don't know about Edmonton giving up a first round pick for that.
But you gotta pay to play. You
gotta.
It's for the goalie though, and you're getting Barry out. Like I don't think it's that egregious.
You're moving Barry, and you get Varlamov, right?
Yeah. Hey, it's a tough one, but I like the idea for both teams. So that's what really hit it. And then I'll skip to getting JG Pajot. So if I didn't go the Cloud route, I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting the same guys: Varlamov, Mayfield, and JG Pajot.
So what are you adding?
JG Pajot, just Pajot on Edmonton's side. So I receive Pajot, Mayfield, and Varlamov, and all I add back, going back to them, is Warren Fogle. And I retain 1.125 of Koskinen's contract just because I simply can for this year.
I wonder, like, I like the Pajot of it all. It's interesting. But I wonder if the Islanders are going to try and be good again next year, for one. Two, if that's enough for Pajot, like the Fogle offload of it. Like, I was thinking more like before you said that, before you said Pajot being in it, I was thinking like maybe if you throw in Bailey and Fogle in the mix and swap. Like, Bailey's more of a scorer than Foegele. He's a better two-way player. Realistically, he's better right now for the Oilers today. Now, the contract down the road obviously is the issue, but no, yeah, I feel like you'd probably have to add a pick again if you want Pajot to add for Foegele. I'm just thinking of it as an individual trade.
Yeah,
Pajot for Foegele is I don't do that if I'm Lou. Because, like you said, face-off master, right?
But, like, definitely not. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't
feel
super comfortable with. Like, I didn't feel super comfortable with giving up a first-round pick in that last deal, but I definitely am okay with giving up the first-round pick here.
Yeah,
you know, and like Pajot, like I don't know how much, like his worth is literally his PK and his face-offs, like mainly his face-offs, like in all reality, and it's $5 million for 4 more years. Like, you're not. I feel like a Foegele at 25 years old compared to a Pajot.
It's tight.
What is
so
it?
Tight.
I think he's 31.
Yeah, Pajot 30.
29. He's 29.
Yeah.
So
it's not that bad.
It's a decent time. It's a good time to have him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to give more for Pajot, but like the Islanders are saving a lot of money here.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing you got to think is that like Foegele and Barry for the next 3 years is like only $7 million or something like that, and those are 2 guys you could probably move because they're not insanely high contracts. You save the money on Varlamov. You get a defensive prospect. You get a first-round pick this year. It definitely isn't really, like you said, they want to win. Obviously, the Islanders want to turn this around, but I don't know how much of a kill it would be.
It's just such a big trade that it's so hard to quantify.
That's why I also don't like it, because it's such a big trade.
So many pieces that like you could debunk it in any which way you form it. You're on the right track. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand what you're going for with it.
I think there's a big opportunity for Edmonton to look at the Islanders. Yeah. If the Islanders do sell a couple pieces, I think this is a place to go for Edmonton, because they might want a Barry, and I think they would take. Yeah, and I think they would take Koskinen, because why not? It's just 1 year. It saves them money for next year. And let's be serious, they gave up 2 second-round picks or something like that for just getting rid of Andrew Ladd for 2 years. So
that's fair.
Yeah, cap space is very important to the Islanders to be able to do anything and possibly actually sign. The other thing was them signing a left-handed defenseman. This also gives them the room to sign a real left-handed defenseman instead of Andy Green.
Yeah,
Zdeno Chara.
That's true. So, yeah, you're buying me over a little bit more. Maybe you change like Samorukov to Lavoie. Like, you were willing to give up Lavoie earlier. Like, maybe it's a swap like that instead of Samorukov as a prospect, get a better prospect. Like, not much. Yeah, I like that more. So, or maybe even throw in like a Benson, like something. I know you don't want to get. You got to get something the Oilers don't want to give up. You have to get one of the forwards or prospect types that they're like, not like opposed to giving up, but they're like, I don't know, I like him, but okay.
The other thing I thought about as well, it's just kind of cheating, is the value that Foegele would be compared to like Bear. Like, he was just traded for Bear.
Yeah.
So like that's at least a second round pick or something.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
You know, like,
that's true.
So I know he may not hold that much weight the way he's playing right now, but
that's true. I know. We're just talking about how good he is too.
Yeah, it's definitely a good question.
So yeah, no, you're like, you guys are. You're right. It's too many names. It's too much going on to really quantify very well. But
when you break it down, it makes a lot of sense for both teams.
Yeah. Hey, absolutely. Like, it seems to. Like, the Edmonton Oilers are. Yeah, it looks so good right now. Like, just got JG Pajot and Mayfield and Varlamov. Looks great this year, and then we got all of next year, and then Varlamov and Mayfield are UFAs, and I have Pajot for another 2 years at $5 million.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
And what are my contracts? Bouchard comes up, so you got to pay Bouchard. Keith at least comes off a little bit.
Draisaitl in 3 years.
Zach Kassian. Probably have to trade Zach Kassian or something. Like,
Draisaitl is down the road and gonna take 11 to 13. Like,
you can thank fucking Ken Holland for doing that 1 year too early James Neal buyout, and you'll have $2 million of dead cap for 2 years. Like,
I know.
That you do have $1.5 million off of Sekera coming off. Like, I think it's workable. I think it's workable for their cap, but it's like
tough.
They take the Islanders cap situation a little bit more, you know? like they take the Islanders' cap problems more than so. Basically. I feel like you're paying for that a little bit too. So
that's a hard
I'm just trying to make
as
many arguments to give you to. Because, like, yeah, Islanders aren't getting so much back.
Well, in that trade, you check off the right boxes.
To move and stuff like that, hey? Like, hell, this team could take on a shitty contract at the deadline.
For sure.
Or retain salary at the deadline just because they can, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
They made this move, so... Yeah. So
yeah.
Go on so long
no, that's
that,
okay.
I just thought it was so interesting. The Oilers and Islanders, I feel like there's a match made in heaven. Like, there is a deal to be made here, like 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
It makes sense. It makes sense for these teams, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great team and great choices. Obviously, checking off every box. I'll throw it over to you, Jordan, if you want to quickly go through your team and the trade.
Yeah, mine's a little quicker. It's just Smashville.
I fucking hope so. Jesus Christ, sorry guys.
No worries.
Smashville, and all Smashville need is a goal scorer.
Yeah.
So the two names that came to my mind are Mike Hoffman. That name has been in there a lot.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, I've been thinking of Philly days for the past week, so I know you feel it.
And the other one I've been thinking is Evgeny Dadonov.
That's interesting.
So two goal scorers that I think would do well on.
Oh, you could get Dadonov for pennies if Vegas needs to get rid of him.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think, like, I know that Stone's on this LTIR, but if he does come back at any time earlier, like, maybe they should move like a Dadonov because maybe they can squeeze people under, or hopefully somebody else can.
Someone else will probably get hurt in some way.
Obviously, this is probably going to take at least until the playoffs. Like, we've got 2.5 months till playoffs. Yeah. So like this is probably a 2-month thing.
Pizzas are gonna keep getting moved.
So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can at least squeeze out. Hey, one thing I like saying is the doctors will always say for so much longer than you wish they would that he is not ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not 100%. And that's what Tampa Bay did, I think, with Kucherov, to be able to go the whole time. Because it's not like he wasn't skating. We all knew he was skating for like a month. But the doctor can, like, sorry, this guy's technically not 100%.
Yes.
So, like, in reality, the organization can be like, they said not 100%. We could keep him on LTIR.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
It's funny. So, you bring that
if
up.
If they have to squeeze that out for 2 weeks off of a regular 2-month thing, like, there's no complaint. There's no crazy circumvention of the cap. Like, all these guys played. So.
No. But, for the people complaining about Vegas doing what Tampa did, I'm starting to lean on the side of they're smart. They're doing their job right. They're utilizing what is available to them to be the best team.
Exactly.
I'm cool with it. It's
team and they're playing the cap. Right?
My favorite thing in the world is loopholes, because you can get out of anything with
Mark
it.
Stone is just out injured.
No,
just so Eichel can come back. He's not a healthy player.
He's had back problems all year, by the way. Exactly. Like this, this isn't new.
He's not just sitting on the couch watching Jack Eichel play.
It's like, oh, he's getting his 2 weeks in. Can't wait for my next. Like, it's not like that. It's not it's not like tag and who's it. It's
probably in the gym rehabbing it.
Yeah, he's definitely rehabbing his back.
Yeah, exactly. No. But anyways, back to like Nashville getting like those players like Hoffman.
Yeah, Hoffman.
Dadonov.
I like the Dadonov approach because you could get him for pennies. Like, you could probably be like, hey, Vegas, we'll give you a 7th round pick and we'll take all the cap of Dadonov because we can afford it. Yeah, and Vegas should say yes.
I feel like he'd play well with Forsberg, the old Dadonov. I wonder if that's
just stand in front of the net and snipe. Like, do you have
Dadonov's good playmaker too?
Absolutely. Do you have anything else on your trade news?
No, those were the 2 big ones that came for me.
That's all you got for Nashville? Just the goal scoring from Dadonov or Hoffman
in Nashville.
So you want an ex-Florida winger.
Basically.
The only other thing that I would say Nashville could use is they could trade Myers. Like, if they wanted to go a little bit more beefier, they could trade that Philip Myers on defense and try to get maybe somebody they trust a little bit more, or somebody who's a little bit more highly touted. Like, who was I thinking? Adam Larson. Like, if Adam Larson was possibly up for sale or to be traded, I wonder if they would really highly consider something like that. Because why not get somebody who's like just a tree, I know. Yeah, exactly.
No, that's fair.
That would be the only other thing that they would do, but I fully agree. They're going to just probably trade for a scorer.
Yeah, and I like Philippe Myers, actually. I think he's pretty solid. Big. He's fairly big for...
Yeah, he's good. I like him.
He's all right.
He's sound.
Yeah, exactly. Now, like I said, I picked 3 teams and was thinking both of you guys pick them, but you didn't, luckily. So you guys can basically pick the team I want. Go Boston, which I think is probably more interesting and more in depth. I can go LA.
I'd like to hear LA.
You'd like to hear
LA because I was gonna look at LA, or I was excited to look at LA to see what really actually.
I'll tease. How about I tease a little of LA and I'll talk more in depth about Boston, because I know a little bit of LA, but I didn't go as deep. But I threw some names out there. So how about you guys just tell me if they're good names for LA? Obviously, I threw out for LA defense and a big splash question mark. I put because they're probably the most easiest team to get a big splash. Can you guess the first name I put down because it's the most obvious name?
Holy moly, Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah, I get traded again to LA. That would be so funny.
Right back
I got Chychrun, obviously. Like, they gotta be in the mix for that.
Imagine that combo, Chychrun and Doughty.
Yeah, and they want help on defense, they think.
Real quick on Chychrun, apparently the Bruins... Oh shit, I can't remember the other team. It might have been the Panthers, but they're on this. They're like, I want to do this. Boston's like, I want to do this. Like, cool. I do.
Yeah,
so maybe they will. Maybe it's like I've said several times. It's more convincing Arizona.
Yeah,
convince him that the asset.
Yeah, hopefully one day they just say yes to when you keep asking them and harping them, right? If you're Boston. But yeah, I threw Chychrun in there because obvious, like, you got to be in the mix if you're LA and you're this good and this young. Another name I threw out there that was interesting was Kevin Fiala. Just another scoring winger that's super fast. That if Minnesota wanted to move him and they wanted to do maybe a lateral move, both teams, where it's a change of scenery type move, whatever the case is, I like Fiala. Another name got Tarasenko. He's still in the mix. I don't see him being traded. I don't see him being traded at all, but he's a big name that St. Louis wants out seemingly all the time, but I don't know. He's so good. He, like Chase said, he got 17th and 18th this week, so. But the biggest name I threw in there that is the most interesting to me is Patrick Laine. Imagine they got Patrick Laine on this team, a goal scorer. They could build a perfect team around him, making $7.5-8 million for
holy shit
for a long term and make a great team. Now, cool. I didn't do any trades with these because, like I said, I just kind of threw out some names because I didn't know which direction to officially go.
Well, I like just to touch on the line. It's not a terrible idea because they have no goal scorers. I couldn't tell you a goal scorer other than Arthur Kaliev, and I'd be serious about how high of our hopes we should be on that guy. Like
15 goals.
He might not even be an NHL player. Like people like to play for a few years and then just dissipate. So
yeah, I think he'll be a 10-15 goal scorer for a couple of years, but whether he sustains is.
Yeah, it sustains and becomes a good NHLer is always a big question. But we're not looking for 30 goals out of this guy. Like, I don't know.
40.
That would we'd love 30 out of Kaliev one day.
Kaliev, yeah. I thought you were talking about
But Laine, at least you get somebody who's for surely going to score. 30. With like all the prospects they have, they're playmakers, man. They're all playmakers. Turcotte, Fagemo, Velarde. These guys are, I guess Velarde and Byfield will be probably more fitty guys, getting almost as many goals as assists, but yeah, you're gonna need goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Kempe and Ofalo can score goals, but they're fitty sort of guys too. So unless you're basing your whole team off of having like a fitty sort of situation and you don't have a goal scorer, it could work out. But Laine is a decent fit. In LA I
wondered that
the gaping hole of sniping they don't have.
Exactly,
they just don't have that sniper.
But the question with Laine, for me, the question with Laine is what would you give up in LA? What are they comfortable giving up? Because they have so many prospects, I don't know who they're married to, who they are comfortable moving on from in that sense. So I didn't really go as in depth.
And then the lovely question of what Columbus actually wants.
Exactly. Now I did do a Laine trade. I will say that, but it wasn't with LA. I guess is given away for Boston. As I will tell you, these guys, I did 2 trades for Boston, and I threw just a couple names. So let's throw out the names that I didn't make trades with. Threw Calle Jarnkrok in the mix. I just put for secondary scoring and depth scoring. I know Calle Jarnkrok's shitty this year, but he might be cheap to get. 4th round pick for a third liner, maybe. You never know.
I think he'll go
5th or 3rd round.
Decent amount. He's at least one of the. He's the only other right-handed player on that team scoring goals, so
yeah,
he's at least got some value. And I think the plan is to retain him.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, exactly. A mil.
So then he's only like a mil, and somebody like Tampa or something like that. I have him on my Tampa list.
That's
for
That's
possible destinations because they could use the extra right-handed guy. But no, Boston's looking for a winger too. So
he was fifth on my list anyway. So for Boston,
they could go to both of those guys in that area, the old Vancouver and Seattle, and snab would I bring up JT Miller and then have Jarnkrok. So I'm interested. I think Tampa or Boston might just fucking
go for everything. That's where I'm curious.
Like, give it up and go straight up.
Other names here. 4th name here is Kubalik, another guy struggling who might be able to steal from Chicago for a second, maybe. I don't know. Never know what you can get from there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I just thought about him and DeBrusque. Can you just swap those guys and everybody's happy?
Probably.
Maybe that works better.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe be able to do that. Yeah. I don't see why not. Yeah, different type. Obviously, Kubalik's bigger. So what happened? Yeah, I'd like to see that. My 3rd name, Andrew Kopp. That is if Winnipeg continues to be bad. That makes to me the most sense. I don't want him traded if I'm a Jets fan, but if the Jets are that far out, you got to get something for Kopp because he's probably going to walk this year because he's going to want 5.
The Jets better not have fucking pissed around the first half and then. The plan was to bear down in the second half and actually play real hockey all second half because.
Well, hopefully they do because if not, they should trade Kopp.
If they play anything like they are right now consistently, which hasn't been a case, they're going to be hard to beat all year.
Absolutely. And then my final 2 names. Funny you mentioned Vancouver. My second name is Connor Garland. I think Garland would be a perfect Bruin. He's feisty. He can score. He's top 6. He can play Taylor Hall. You can keep the perfection line together. Yeah. Now it was the value question, and this was the easiest for me, actually. I looked at Tyler Toffoli and I said, copy, paste, basically. And I traded Garland for a first, Jakub Lauko, and John Moore. You probably maybe add another pick if you really want to, but it's pretty fair to what it was. Money going back for John Moore. You could change to Wagner if the money works, but
I like that.
It's really like a pick away. I think that's great.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much there. So exactly. I like that him too. So, but they need.
And then the only other thing, Bob, is David Krejci. Krejci. Because he played in the Olympics.
Yeah, he did. We'll see. We'll see now after the Olympics are done. Hasn't ruled it out, but he was focused on the Olympics. They came out
and said we're looking for a scoring winger, and we're all like, "Don't you need a centerman?" They're just like, "We're looking for a scoring winger." So,
but and then I'll move on to my Line trade just to close it out. This one was a little bit tougher, but. I'll see what you guys think. I traded DeBrusque, Vakanainen, John Moore, a first in 2022, and you either take Stanika,
Lyshaw, no,
or Beecher.
Too much. No, not doing it.
Maybe not Lyshaw.
I would stop with the last guy you added in there. I would go with DeBrusque that first, and what did you say?
Vakanainen and Moore.
That'd be as must.
That's not enough for me either. That's what I wonder. I don't think that's enough for a 40 goal.
Then if you're asking for that much,
I'm less. But here's another one then that I had with it. So DeBrusque, Vakanainen, Moore, a first instead of Stanika and Lyshaw, Beecher, and a third. Because Beecher's a decent player too.
Yeah.
But you will have to get rid of 2 prospects and Vakanainen and another one. Now, if you Lyshaw and Stanika, I understood. I threw them in there because they have to be in the conversation. If you're Columbus, those are the names you ask for first. And then you work on what you settle for at very least being
first. It's Brad Marchand, and that's the next.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, Line is impossible to trade for, though. You never know.
He's got weird value. I have no idea what to pay for him. Like I said, like Vakanine and DeBrusk in a first is like at most what I'd probably.
To me that's not enough for Line. 40 goal potential with Line. You play him. Imagine you get Line. Imagine you get Line and you can play Pasta on your second line and play Line at the perfection line. Pasta scores how many and he's that good? Line can stand.
I'd rather give that up for JT Miller. I'd rather give up
That's fair.
that for JT Miller because he can at least play 20 minutes a game and do everything I need him to do, not just like only score goals and play 16 minutes.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just Boston can't score. With their second line is not good enough still for me at all. You think they should go for it? I think they should go for it. Yeah, if you're putting all your chips in, I like Chychrun better, but now that you mentioned it, but I like Line too. I think that could be fun.
Yep.
I just want to see him be good. I want Line to be good, frankly. That's why I made these trades. I want him on a good team. I want him to be the next OV. I want him to be what he was the first 2 years he's in the NHL.
Yeah, I also want to stop talking about this crap with Line because I feel like an ass because I say this sort of shit. But like, sorry, man. Like, if you just had a contract and just played consistently, like I wouldn't be bringing you up ever. You'd be like everybody else who just has a $9 million contract and is like one of the best players on their team. But he just hasn't been able to be that guy. So like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I'm not.
And with this trade,
very high.
Yeah, keep in mind with this trade, it comes with an extension, so it's a little,
of course,
added with it. So to yourself, but yeah, that's all I went with that stuff for my two trade teams. Honestly, Boston secondary scoring and LA with maybe a big splash. But that's all we got for this week's podcast. Thanks guys for coming and showing our live face. This will be the new regular for you fans. If you are seeing this, I need to see if it actually records properly.
Get used to these ugly mugs.
Yeah, exactly. Get used to these poorly groomed fellers up here. And but go,
buddy,
bastards.
Got the twirly.
You got the twirly mustache. You're killing it for us.
It's beauty.
Come to look just a Chase. Yeah.
Got my Larkin jersey.
You can be the man on the couch on the ice for us, man.
You'll see us next time.
Yeah. Go follow us on social medias on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Peace.